everybody, and welcome to a new episode, a new thing that we're doing for the podcast.
Shit.
What we're doing is I got a bunch of guests on tonight, and we're going to do a series where we go into every single Star Wars movie. We just talk about the movie or we talk about the show. And today I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves because I'm still working on some stuff on the side here. So, hello everybody, I'm Dilf Gravy, and I'm fucking nerding out right now.
Hi, I'm King Ligma. Let's do this.
You want to introduce yourself first, or should I go?
It's all you. You got it.
Wait, well, hello, my name is Jessica Rishi. Yeah, I'm known as Jessica, basically, because everyone used my fucking real name instead of my screen name. There's nothing more else to say than that.
What's up, everybody? Victor Fulcrum. Happy to be on here and talk some wars.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us
Yes.
this fine Sunday evening. Like Dilf said, we want to kind of make this a thing. We always, one way or the other, talk about Star Wars. And this is a way to make it just directly about it instead of just topic jumping. So, again, I think once a month, we're at least going to hit one of the movies or a show. And we're starting off right out of the gates, episode 1. I have been trying to do my homework this week. I watched it all the way through, I think, on Thursday when we decided we're going to go through with this. And every day since, I've tried to sit down and watch it, but my wife is like, seriously, third fucking time this week. Like, I'm like, come on, babe. I got to study up. And right now, I have it playing in the background, so I'm trying to get that fresh info for you guys. You need something. You need me to check something, fact check it. I can back it up, okay?
For me, I just literally just rewatched it. I'm at the part where the Duel of the Fates start, which is by far my favorite Star Wars song. Oh, it's so fun.
Oh, for sure.
You could be ready to like, all right, I'm about to go to court, you know, and I know for a fact I'm gonna spend like $10,000 on a traffic violation. Ba 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 ba. And just like, all right, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, give me that fucking ticket.
Dude, I don't care what your favorite Star Wars movie is. If you love the prequels, you hate the prequels, you love that moment in Star Wars.
Oh, it's so badass.
For sure.
It scared me a lot as a kid because Darth Maul looked like the fucking devil himself. I'm not religious.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not religious and also don't believe in it, but still, like, who the hell is more in your fucking hand? Like,
Yeah.
oh.
But, I mean, that's kind of like his draw, because, like, this is, like, the serious first time on film. I mean, if you're not, like, a big Star Wars person, but on film, you see a Sith, like a Sith Jedi, if you will, and you're just like, oh, shit, man. Do they all look like the devil? It's so fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah. And, I mean, George Lucas has never been shy or subtle with his characters. You name someone Greedo, who's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
He named Darth Vader, you know, Darth Father. You know, it's like he's not being subtle here,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
which I love about it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Dude, absolutely. Again, and in that moment, he's like, okay, we're going to show you the bad guy. He's going to look like the bad guy.
Mhm.
There's no redemption for him, like Vader. This is an evil person.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's
we
going
got
to look like the
Maul,
devil.
and in the coolest way. He's going to look like Satan.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
And it's the first time we see a dual-bladed lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Which adds to
God.
the frightening essence of Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
You know, from everything, the way he looks,
So,
the way
like,
he fights, the lightsaber he chooses, you know.
Oh, yeah. Dude, so
Again,
good.
and as a kid, we all had our lightsabers, our makeshift lightsabers, and fighting a person with a stick while you have a stick, that's intimidating enough. Now this person is using both ends of that stick, and what are you gonna do?
See, that's what I think is kind of funny. I've seen it like 1,000 times, but I can't find it again. There's like the part where the doors open up, and then Maul's sitting there, and he hits the lightsaber, and then hits the other side, and then it switches over to Indiana Jones, and he just shoots him. It's bang! It's just- but like,
Straight out of Raiders, I think.
yeah, dude. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So-
Yep.
But it's like, I think that's like the whole cool thing is like, with Star Wars, when Episode 1 was announced, right? Everybody jumped on it, like advertising wise. Taco Bell had the toys, which had some of the best fucking Star Wars toys.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
I still have. It's a magic 8-ball Yoda. Like he's sitting, like he's in
Yep.
the council chambers. He's got his weird little seat. You just shake it and flip it over, and it's like Star Wars 8-ball. It's amazing.
Dude, I've got I think I still have it. It's Anakin's pod racer, but it's one of those balancing birds. So like you put it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I
Hold
gotta
up.
find. Dude, I fucking love it.
I had one of the Naboo N1 Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal.
Dude,
Nice.
because
I'm too young for that.
hey, we're having a little bit of audio issue with you. I don't know if it's
Really?
yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
I think it's. I mean, it's fine. Worst case, you can just type in chat. But it's but what's crazy is like everybody jumped on it, and like there was like commercials that were CG made for that talking about it. Like there were subtle hints about who Anakin actually was in like all the commercials and movie posters and stuff, because we're all like, who the fuck is this nerdy kid? Like, I do an angel. It's like fucking nerd, and then you're just like, oh, he's kind of important. You know, so it's
Maybe
like
that's something we should have done as well to get ready for this, is watch the actual advertisements for it. Kind of see how they were hyping it up, you know?
because
I-
Oh, the
Because
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt.
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
One of
You're
the one of the teasers that they had, which was a very not subtle drop, was Anakin standing on Tatooine, and his shadow was the Darth Vader shadow up against the wall.
Yeah.
Which I actually have up on my wall over here. So if you want reference, I can. Just
I do too.
I'll
I've
laptop
got
over
one of
there.
those too, dude.
Yes. It's a
Dude,
classic.
it's
Victor and I are going to become best friends. I can already tell.
it's so cool because there's like so much stuff. I remember the Pepsi cans that had them. My favorite one was like it was like, because it was blue and then it had like the stars all over it, and it kind of looked like Star Wars Episode 1, but it was like Greedo, like, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucking love that can, because he was just a shitty fucking person, like to his core. He was a shitty. He cared about making money and gambling, but for some reason his character was,
McClunky.
yeah,
McClunky.
he was just so true. He was like such a true like character to himself. He did what he did. And he's like, this is a chance cube, and he's like, red only actually has like all the signs, dude. Oh,
Okay, so if you did not know this,
Mhm.
that chance cube was weighted in his favor to
Mhm.
land on red.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he gets super pissed off when it still lands on blue. He's like, you fucking did something there.
Yeah,
Because, again, it was a weighted chance cube.
because he was always about it, man. So,
We're talking about Watto's chance cube here.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's like, I feel like the whole entire like Star Wars Episode 1, it gets a lot of shit. Let's be honest, it gets a lot of shit.
For sure.
There's a lot we can unpack
And it's
there.
mainly because people don't like Jar Jar. You know?
But-
Yeah. And I mean,
Just
I'm not
my
the
nose,
biggest
I
fan
don't
of
like
him.
them.
I say everything around it is not bad. Even, it's just a silly character, says some dumb shit,
Mhm.
and wound up causing an entire genocide later on down the lines, but we'll get to that, okay? But in this movie, he was playful, okay?
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, if you kind of take that away, is it too serious? You know?
Yeah, because
I
like
mean-
I feel like the whole point of him was like when we all grew up, our parents were like seeing Star Wars like 4, 5, and 6, like for the first time, so it was all
Yeah.
new. And our parents were always like, God, fuck, yeah, Star Wars, you know, fuck yeah. And then, like, we're like, what's a Star Wars? And then we see Episode 1, so to get the next generation into it, they put this lovable oaf in it to be like, he's funny. So then you repetitively watch it as kids do to buy merchandise and all that stuff. You're like, oh, there's depth to the Obi-Wan. Oh, Qui-Gon Jinn, he's a fucking badass. You know, so you just learn and grow with these movies. And if we had to sacrifice the fact of Misa gonna die, Annie, you know, we can do it. Like you just kind of gotta
Yeah.
let it go.
And you know, with all the Star Wars movies, we have something kind of kitschy like that, like
Mhm.
whether it be Ewoks or Jar Jar or Porgs. You know,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we just got a Jar Jar in 1999. But I mean, it's one of the things on this side of the scale that I think does not outweigh this side of the scale, which is like the Duel of the Fates, the Pod Race, Ewan
Mhm.
McGregor, Liam Neeson.
Oh yeah.
So many amazing things in that movie that
I
people forget about.
Mhm.
because yeah, they let one thing ruin a good movie when it's not even that bad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Uh,
I honestly want to know the situation of the galaxy right before the crawl of episode 1, which I thought about that the other day when I was watching it. Like, okay, what was happening right before they go to have these negotiations on there?
Mhm.
You know, what I actually looked it up today as well. I was trying to figure out how old Obi-Wan was in episode 1 because he looks young, but Anakin and him, they always have that bit of an age gap. So he is actually 25 years old. He is a
Damn.
Padawan at 25.
Damn. That sucks.
Yeah.
Like how old are
Dude,
you
he's been
supposed to be?
he's I don't know,
well, there's
dude.
a
Train.
there's a really interesting book out, came out within the last 2 years called Master and Apprentice, which is pretty much detailing, you know, everything that happened with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan leading up to episode 1.
Mhm.
There's a whole lot I can dive into about that book, but it kind of shows the beauty of Qui-Gon and how he is kind of the beginnings of a gray Jedi, if you will. Not really canonized, but the whole idea of someone being outside of the Jedi Order, kind of following their own guidelines for good, not being a Sith in between the two, but not being on that political side of the Jedi. And you see, you know, Qui-Gon, you know, get the offer to be on the Jedi Council and turn it down for the sake of one thing, Obi-Wan, but another thing, just because he doesn't agree with everything that they're doing. And it's really cool to see and how that kind of flows right into the Phantom Menace, where, you know, still he's being like, no, I'm going to train this kid. Like, I don't care what you say. He might be old, but he's
Yeah.
the most powerful MFer you've ever seen. So
Mhm.
But like, the thing that, you know, that was added here that like Obi-Wan was 25 and Padawan, that Anakin is like, what, 10, 11, and he's too old.
Yeah.
yeah,
Come
Yeah.
on.
It's
Yeah.
because they want to get him young, man. Like that's like the whole thing.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, they want to brainwash him early to where you follow the rules like blindly. And I think that is one, like I've told everybody, my favorite Jedi
Good point.
by far is Qui-Gon Jinn. And the main reason is one, like, just to give you an example, one line: follow your heart, follow your feelings, you know. And it's like, if you don't feel like fucking doing this because you got a bad feeling about it, but your fucking boss is telling you because I have a Jedi Council, I'm older than you, and it's like, don't fucking do it, dude, because you know it's gonna end up bad. So don't do it. It's like, and that's one of the cool reasons is like, there's like a line where, thanks, thanks, Master, for thinking I'm good enough for the trials. He's like, you got it, dude. Just do it.
you don't need me. Yeah.
You already learned everything you can, man. Just be ready. You're good. Just
Yeah.
eat a little bit of funfetti cake and get a little bit of loose, get that vibe going. Put on
So-
some Bob Marley and hit it. Dude. So just
Right
saying.
at the beginning, when they reveal themselves, they're on the ship. The little C-3PO takes them into the room, and they drop their hoods. And Obi-Wan, right off the bat, says, "I have a bad feeling about this." And Qui-Gon says something, but then Obi-Wan's like, "Well, Yoda said I should be mindful of, my thoughts towards the future." And Qui-Gon's like, "Not at the expense of the moment." He's like, "Keep your thoughts and stuff here
and now where
and
they
just-
are. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And it's
Which-
so good.
Again, that's something I feel was also looked down on with Anakin, because he would have those visions,
Mhm.
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
ahead, seeing things before they happen, which they mention during the scene where they're at Anakin's house, and he's like, he has premonitions, right? Like, sees things before there happens. That's why his reflexes are so fast. And I feel like the council was always shitting on him, like, about that, like, don't you may see the future, but don't worry about it. And I feel like they were pushing for it with Obi-Wan, but Anakin not so much. I don't understand that.
No, I totally agree, and I mean that ultimately kind of led to the demise of Anakin, and that's a whole other topic I want to get into while we're on this conversation. But
Oh, dude, we can
Go
do
for
it,
it.
man. We have all
well,
the time.
honestly, if we're on that subject, let's just go into it because, I mean, this whole movie as a whole gets disregarded. Because I don't know if you guys have listened to the machete order of how Star Wars should be watched.
Yes. Of
But
course.
it goes. The original one was 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. Back when it was just
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and it just completely disregarded episode 1 being irrelevant, which I completely disagree with because at the end of the day, and I'm taking all of this from Dave Filoni, who said all of this on the Star Wars Gallery, kind of behind the scenes thing from The Mandalorian, but the Duel of the Fates, which is the Obi-Wan Qui-Gon Maul fight, really is the duel of the entire arc of Star Wars, where it's Obi-Wan
The
and
fate of
Qui-Gon
Anakin.
versus Maul. Yeah,
Mhm.
and really it's 2-on-1, but it really is Obi-Wan versus Obi-Wan versus Qui-Gon versus Obi-Wan versus Maul, because whoever ends up winning that fight, Anakin's outcome is going to be completely different.
Yep.
And
You're
you
exactly
see,
right, dude.
yeah, and you see Qui-Gon understand that Jedi
Chills
still need
talking
to have
about it.
that.
Not to interrupt, but just chills.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know, and it's beautiful to especially hear Dave Filoni talk about it
Mhm.
and like kind of understand that he has that background with George Lucas, and he like Qui-Gon understands that Jedi still need to love and to care about things and need to have that attachment, because if you don't give them that, they're going to find it somewhere else and it's going to lead to their downfall, which ultimately it did with Anakin.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and he's way ahead of the council, and Yoda starts to see it in Attack of the Clones, which is great, but he's a little behind the times because Palpatine already has his plans,
Yeah.
already rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But the Duel of the Fates is like Qui-Gon, who's going to be a father figure who understands what it means to take Anakin away from his mom, and he understands the fate, the position he's going to be in. But then if it's Obi-Wan, I think the line is like, why do I think that we have just brought in another
A straggler.
Helpless
useless
life
life
form.
form?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
And he compares him to Jar Jar, and he doesn't understand the value of it. So
Yeah.
the difference between those two, and that's why I said it's Qui-Gon versus Obi-Wan versus Maul,
Mm-hmm.
because they're very different.
It's an
takes a
awesome way
hand
to look
there.
at that because
Yeah,
again, Qui-Gon was the father figure that he didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And Obi-Wan didn't see it that way. Again, he didn't look at it from the same perspective Qui-Gon did. Again, taking a child from their mother.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all the right reasons. I mean, kid was born into slavery, and then he has a high midi-chlorian count, higher than Yoda. This kid has potential.
Yeah.
I mean, Qui-Gon was right. The kid was the chosen one.
Mhm.
And if he would have trained him, it probably would have went an entirely different route. But like you said, it's a battle between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Maul.
Mhm.
So you have the father figure versus the brother.
Mhm.
The best
Yeah.
friend, if you will, because again, Obi-Wan still is kind of immature. 25 years old. I'm 27. I still feel like a kid.
You fucking
You
baby.
think you kind of have the world figured out.
Oh no, listen,
I
I'm the
know,
baby here.
I know,
I'm
I
the
know.
baby here.
I'm the oldest here, man. Fuck.
Okay, Pawpaw. Okay, hold on a second.
Give me my goddamn Folgers.
But again, dude, I've got right here. I'm gonna do some shameless promotion.
All right, we
There
doing
it
it?
is.
We got merch. We got merch.
We have merch, guys. We have merch.
But yeah, so before I do the plug of merch, I have to completely agree. There's two fucking very big parts. Number one is when Qui-Gon gets cut off during the reactor. Bam, the reactor closes the red field. Maul's on one side, he's on the other, and he's like, fuck it. He gets down and meditates. Personally, I mean, I know there's probably a right answer to this, but how I see it is he searches his feelings and searches the future through the Force and sees what's going to happen. The outcome of if he trains Anakin, Anakin will probably end up being with Padme. They're going to kidnap Padme, and it's going to be this whole big fucking thing, and he inevitably will go rogue.
Yeah.
Or he goes with Obi-Wan, which there's a possibility where he still stays light. So he's like, I should probably go, because there's a scene, like there's a side-by-side scene to when Maul is fighting Qui-Gon on Tatooine, and there's a scene by scene when he's fighting him in like the reactor bay. It's like he goes left, right, sweep, and then he backs up. But when he's fighting him in the reactor, he does left, right, stops, and then Maul sweeps him and stabs him. He did the same move on Tatooine.
Hits him with that, and then spins around and stabs him.
He knew he could block him, but he took it because he's like, I'm done. You know, that's it. Like, I guess that.
I mean, just about that like thing when what is it called? Like, he hits him in the face. I'm just like, that must hurt because it's a lightsaber. Like it's metal.
Yeah.
But like also like he takes the hit for it. But still, getting a lightsaber to the face. It doesn't mean the blade. You're not dead. You just get like, your nose is broken. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Just to add that, like, it must hurt.
Oh yeah,
so good.
He fucking definitely took that shit, and then it was hard.
Again, I was gonna say, like, again, doing the whole meditation thing, looking at it that way. He already knew that the council wasn't gonna allow him to be trained, so he used himself again as the sacrifice. Okay, again, Obi-Wan, he said he was ready to take the trials to become a Jedi Knight. At that point, he could take on a Padawan. And so he's like, you know what? I'm just going to lay it on the line here. My dying wish is that this kid gets trained. And the council was like, that's probably the only way the council actually allowed that. They were not going to let Anakin be trained. But the dying wish of the Jedi to his Padawan was train the boy. And Obi-Wan didn't want to do it, but he did it as... the request of his master.
Yeah, and I won't disagree with that. I will push back on. I don't know if Qui-Gon necessarily saw that the only way of being Anakin's training coming to fruition. I think Qui-Gon definitely saw a pattern of attachment, maybe attachment issues with Anakin, and we see this with Anakin having attachments to his mom. Which is a very normal attachment. And then it goes to Padme, and then eventually that becomes Vader because of Padme's loss, and he gets attached to Palpatine and everything. Yeah. So I'll push back on that a little bit on Qui-Gon seeing that future. Yeah. Because I think if Qui-Gon had been in the picture, he would have been a good replacement for Shmi and been that kind of guiding light,
Oh yeah,
going there.
I think so too. Like because there's this one scene that's like you can really see that Anakin was like longing for a father figure, is when he wins the pod race, right? And everybody around him is fucking like, doing the Houdini and like the little like Ewok dance, and everyone's going crazy. So it's like then he goes and looks at Qui-Gon like, did I do good? And he's like, fuck yeah, but let me tussle your hair a little bit. Good job, sport. And he's like, fuck yeah, accomplishment. I get credit. Yeah, so it's like him longing for that. Like if the tides would have changed, right, and Obi-Wan would have died, that would have been hard, right? I love Obi-Wan too, but like if Qui-Gon
McGregor's the shit, dude.
Dude, it's that hair, it's that fucking braid that he's got that gets me. But
everything about
we've all tried to grow it out.
But if Qui-Gon would have like taken him and trained him, dude, think of the fucking power on the light side. Even gray he would have had, dude. Insane.
That's it. Again, Qui-Gon wasn't like totally the, what's the word I'm looking for? The picture of the perfect Jedi. Again, he had he had a heart, man. I mean, again, he trusted his feelings and had attachments as well, but that's not the right thing for a Jedi to have, to keep their cool, because attachments, you can love, but you can't feel like you're possessing something, because then you're afraid of losing it. Yeah. And I mean, there's ways around that, I feel, and Qui-Gon saw that. but it's not something that Obi-Wan knew firsthand, and which is why there were certain things that Obi-Wan was lacking that Qui-Gon probably would have helped out with. Again, the father figure versus the brother, you
Mhm.
know?
I just have some points to follow up with that because, if Obi-Wan died, he was the one to die. What is it called? Do you think in episode 2, when Anakin's like, oh, I gotta find my mother, she's gonna die, do you think Qui-Gon would have helped him, go to Tatooine, search for Shmi,
Yeah.
all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If the roles were reversed and Qui-Gon was his master and he was like, I feel like something's wrong with my mom. He's like, bitch, get in the ship, man. Let's go do this. Like, let's go find your mom.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Because, like, I mean, because I guess the hopeless romantic and all of us have been like, aw, if Qui-Gon and Anakin's mom got together.
Oh, Shmi.
Like, we would all been like super giddy about it, but like, I think he would have been like, hell yeah, dude, let's go fucking find your mom. And then
favor.
yeah, and then if the scenario played out the way that it did, and he's like, Anakin, you can't go in there and fucking blast, dude. You can't just rock in and start blasting, man. We gotta have a plan. Let's go get your mom. I think like that way, let's say, knock on wood, that it became canon. Force healing would have been like a thing that Qui-Gon definitely would have known.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so that is almost kind of answered in one. So when Qui-Gon's, been stabbed and the fight between Obi-Wan and Maul is done, Obi-Wan runs up to him, and the first thing that Qui-Gon says is, "It's too late." Like, I'm past the point of force healing, maybe.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
so
I hadn't thought about
it could
that.
have still been canon back then. I did a little bit of research on that too, because I was like, now they're force healing. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
that's something we just
I don't know,
we knew about it, but we're just
force
not going to
healed
use
a
it.
Snail, like.
Yeah.
Okay, just real quick, since we're talking about force powers, can we talk about the force run that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon do at the beginning and why that is never utilized again?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at the beginning of that hallway. Oh, we gotta go.
Maybe let's say that you only get one. You only get one time.
No, Aaron.
You only get one, and it's like he's like, you go that way, I'll go this way. One, and it's like just one power up per level. That's it. They just haven't leveled up yet.
I love the idea.
That sucks.
Because, dude, so many times throughout the series, even in the show Clone Wars, in Rebels, that shit would have been crucial.
I mean, you see them do force jumps all the time. That's the equivalent.
Yeah.
So them hamstrings, them quads, just getting up there, just in a different way.
Yo, man, can you dunk? Don't underestimate your enemy. Bling! Dude.
Dunk like 12 stories.
Just really though, yeah, that's the cool shit though. Which I'm glad they did utilize that a little bit more in the sequel trilogy, especially like 9 when they're on that fight like by the Death Star, like they jump over those huge waves. But we're getting way off topic there. All right,
It's like 30, 40 years in the future there, buddy.
It is. But so just to ease back to 1, I'm gonna make a stopping point into which we were talking about the scenario if Qui-Gon would have been his master and the whole situation with his mom played out. In the episode 2, you hear Qui-Gon through the Force being like, Anakin, no. Like during that whole scene, he again was with him in spirit with the Force. Nothing he could do, but I'm sure he like understood like his pain again. Like, dude, that is your mom, and she was taken not from you once but twice now, and she was killed. And I understand that you want to get your revenge on these people, but there's different ways that we can approach that. And I feel again, if he would have been there and it still played out the same way, there would have been that little bit of push. Anakin's feelings and everything probably would have gotten the better of him, but Qui-Gon would have had to calm him down and one way or the other, or just let him do it, get it out of his system, and then be like, well, we're going to use this as a learning step. Let's not do that again, because it was bad. Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Yeah.
Pretty fucked up, boy.
Yeah.
I've been holding back on making that reference. I'm not gonna lie, but I totally agree with that. 'Cause, I totally agree. Like he definitely, to Aaron's point earlier, would have been like, get in this ship. We're gonna get your mom back.
Yeah.
Or like we're gonna kill those. We're gonna kill the motherfuckers. Like let's go get them.
Yeah.
One of the two. I'm leaning towards one, but no, I definitely think that Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon had that understanding of attachments, and like we learned in Clone Wars that Obi-Wan somewhat did with the Duchess,
Yeah.
but
What's her name?
Satine.
Oh.
Yep, Satine.
So we had that understanding with Obi-Wan, but maybe Obi-Wan had that understanding a little bit too late, where he had already kind of instilled that in Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are TBD on the Star Wars canon. We can speculate though. But Qui-Gon was
Absolutely.
Qui-Gon was very asserted in the fact that he thought that Jedi should still love and care, and he would have given into Anakin's wishes to go help his mom and eventually help Padme when he had those, or if he would, we don't even know if he would have been with Padme if he would have been with Qui-Gon. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we can go down.
Yeah, and I feel,
Dude, we could jump down all these theory holes.
and I feel
But
like
go ahead.
I was gonna say
sorry.
what is
I'm
like
sorry.
what is really hard is like with Obi-Wan taking on Apprentice, you got to think like the timeline spaces is like Master's dead. Now I have to take care of this fucking kid, and they want me on the Jedi Council to like kind of oversee. Now I have to fill all these fucking roles that I don't fuck you, dude. You're giving me all these fucking plates. What am I supposed to do with this shit? So
and I'm a general in the army during a war.
Yeah, it's like fuck.
I think again, like the way I think I read was he was the first Jedi to kill a Sith in like 200 years or something crazy, and that immediately gave him knighthood. Like, so he may not have even been ready to take the trials. He could have failed the trials, but was still, because he killed a Sith, was granted the rank of a Jedi Knight, and maybe he wasn't ready to take on an apprentice yet, And so he kind of had to figure it out as he went along, as opposed to a seasoned Jedi Knight. So again, I feel like they were both still learning as he was training Anakin. And so when you get to the story arc with Duchess and again his attachments to her, he's realizing that as well, and can't do anything really for Anakin because he's already, again, what is it, like a 10-year jump from 1 to 2?
I think
for the last 10 years he's been putting all this information in his head, and then
it might just be 10 years, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's around like that. Like 10, I think it's between 10 and 13 years.
Yeah,
I think it's in between that.
Yeah.
I believe it's 10.
10. But do you think like when you become a Jedi Knight, like, or you're like done with the trials, like you do all like the training, you fight yourself in the dark side forest and all that stuff, that like they're like, okay, you're a Jedi Knight, now you just need to go to the DMV, the space DMV, and wait in line and get your card, but make sure that the spelling
gotta get
is
your
right.
picture taken.
Because believe me, when Qui-Gon
Gotta get your
did
picture
it,
taken. Don't smile.
they did 3 N's as Qui-Gon. He had to wait 6 months and get it fixed. So just make sure it's right. Whatever, Obi-Wan, just fucking do it, okay? Then come back.
Pretty much exactly like the DMV here. Yeah.
It's just there's this one dude in the corner. I've been here for fucking 15 years. I need my card.
I need my knighthood. I need it now.
It's just crazy because there's so much world, right, built around Star Wars. There's like the Jedi, the Sith, and then there's like in between, because you have both of them are like the high, I'm a fucking massive Dragon Ball Z fan. So you got the fucking Saiyans, you got the Namekians, and then you got the Kais, right? So it's like you have these, but there's so much in between. Like
you got the fascists and the communists, and you have everything else in between.
And there's so much, because then, like the other movies kind of hinted towards a little bit, there's other people that are like Force sensitive, but they're not anywhere close to being a Jedi. So you have those people that are a blend of the middle. Like, so it's like with like, so with all of this, I love the theory that, you know, Jar Jar Binks is a little force sensitive, but he's
Oh.
so fucking like left-footed that he's just like
Yeah.
a clumsy oaf. But it's like, what if? Like, what if his plan the whole time was to be met like by a Jedi to get into
Yeah, Darth
the
Jar
ranks?
Jar.
Darth Jar Jar. Yeah, I mean, dude.
Darth
I mean-
Jar Jar.
You see that. I hate to bring it up. But you see that with Broom Boy in The Last Jedi.
Well,
And you know, some kid who is for some reason the last shot of this movie
yeah.
that we are not going to go into. But
Listen,
he's, you know, force
I will
wielding
say
the broom.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think what the director, was it Ryan Johnson, was wanting to do, which again, he says that Rey was a nobody, right? Okay. That was the way we left off that movie. Rey's parents, her lineage, it doesn't matter. Okay. And at the end, you get that last shot of Broom Boy, you know, a nobody using the Force. It was setting it up that anybody could be the hero.
Anybody could save the universe.
You know,
yeah.
you don't have to have this bloodline of people who did shit way back when. Anybody could step up to the plate when called
Yeah.
and save the universe.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful,
they
beautiful.
shit all over that with 9.
I know. But that's
I'm not mad about it though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad that they shit on it.
You're not mad about that? God!
well, we got to
I
get
don't know.
We're so close. We're so close to being friends. We're so close.
Wait, bring me back for the episode about The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and I will go into that
Okay.
because that's a
You
whole
can come
nother
back for
episode.
however many episodes you want, dude.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
Ligma, you dog.
Because that's the whole point of this is like to preface it to the audience. I know audience has been blowing up. You know, chat. You've been talking about some stuff.
Chat is going crazy.
So that's the
Really?
whole thing. We wanted to get people on this to talk that are fucking very passionate about Star Wars, and that's why we're doing this cast. It's because every fucking episode that we do, like, but you and me, we talk about 3 things: food, Star Wars, and some stupid shit that we used to do. So might as well cut it all into
And
one.
we'll usually throw in a Forrest Gump reference too. So
Forrest Gump.
that's
all
all
the
I've
way.
got to say about that.
Which Firewind, if you're still there, we still need to get together and make an entire where Forrest Gump was actually throughout the entire Star Wars saga. It's true. He was there. I'm just gonna
So CJ McGavin has brought up a couple of good points in chat. First one, I'll ask the question to you guys. How do you feel about Lucas inserting a biological explanation to the Force with midi-chlorians? I always felt like that kind of took some of the magic out of Force users.
I mean, okay, I get it, right? We need a scientific explanation instead of like a spiritual explanation.
Some hokey religion,
Right.
Yeah.
So we needed that, which is great. I'm not going to talk about how wrong Han Solo is in that point. There's no fucking excuse, but I'm not going to say that right now. But like it's just a line. I get it. It's the first one. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
we needed a scientific explanation for the people that are like, well, actually, they're not human beings. They're the different type of, there's those people that they're like, okay, let's scientifically say that it's a part of the, it's a tiny little organic part of a cell that, metachlorians, so I get it personally.
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll, if you ask me.
I feel like it's a little bit more spiritual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean,
For me
they
personally,
needed some way to prove. Go ahead.
no, you got it.
I was going to say, I feel like they needed some way to show that this kid was the chosen one. Okay, we can't just be like, oh, we found this kid on this planet. He seems like he really knows what's up with the universe. So they did the blood check thing, and it's like, oh, midichlorians, he's got one higher than Yoda. He's got to be the chosen one, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that was, what's the word? They use it as like a plot device to
Yeah,
like
other
carry
side.
the story forward. We needed that. Otherwise, we couldn't. It's a MacGuffin. Midichlorians is a MacGuffin, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, they needed that to explain
Sure.
why they needed that child. They needed that child. So
Yeah, I mean,
That's just me.
before we were talking about like kind of the spectrum of force abilities and everything, and how everyone's kind of on there. And for fuck's sake, we're talking about Jar Jar maybe being on there, and like it's kind of adding to that where there's the highest level, and I think the Mandalorian recently really brought to light a very concrete example of how that's going to be used. So they're talking about the M count of Grogu, the child, Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him. And I think that was a great example of it, you know, just in a scientific way, rather than just Qui-Gon randomly checking someone's blood.
Let me put this into my fucking phone. Boop.
Yeah.
What's
and
the,
Dude,
I don't,
it's
I
like
don't,
an
I don't
old
dislike,
razor or something.
Yeah, and I don't dislike the idea of the force ability being, you know, counted that way, and being a, you know, on a range. I think it just makes sense that it's kind of on a scale that way. But
yeah, it's kind of like how
I mean, it doesn't faze me.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it doesn't faze me in the least that they have a name for something that allows you to have a little more sensitivity towards the force. You know, you can measure it. Cool. You know, I can be trained in it and get better at it. I mean, I don't know exactly what that means, having more midi-chlorians than the other.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I wish they would have kind of went into some in-depth explanation on that. What does it mean to have more? What does it mean to have less? Can you see into the future because you have more, or can you lift stuff that's way heavier because you have more?
Can you increase your M count?
Like it was
can you lose it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
you again like.
It's the whole Dragon Ball Z.
It's your turn to talk.
Thing.
I've been talking really long.
it's the whole Dragon Ball Z thing. Who's the most powerful fucking being in the entire universe? It's Goku, but he's a low-class Saiyan. Vegeta is a pureblood, meaning that he has a higher power level by birth than pretty much everybody except for Broly. But we're going to get into that later at another Dragon Ball Z episode. But then what happens is Goku
Next
fucking...
time.
Change out. But anyway, Goku is the fucking highest is because he busted his ass. When Vegeta was just like, I'm Prince Vegeta, you know? So it's like the same thing when it comes to like the midichlorian count. Like you have a low, you bust your ass and you train, you got royal midichlorian blood, you can become a fucking master
You're
Jedi.
Skywalker? Go ahead.
Yeah. You're a Skywalker? Really? So guess what? You don't even have to try, buddy. Get on in there.
That's the thing.
Get on in here.
That's the thing I don't get because, you know, I'm not gonna shit on it.
Yeah. I think we lost audio on Anya. Did anybody else hear
Sorry.
anything? No, it's fine.
No, I heard nothing.
But it's like, I get what you're saying, but go ahead and continue. Let's see if we got your audio fixed. Let me see if it's me.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're good. Usually I'm the one with the technical difficulties. This is nice.
Exactly. So I can take the mic this time. It's me. You know, I don't like the new trilogy at all. I just don't feel like it's engaging the same way as Star Wars for me when I grew up as a child. The thing with Rey is like, oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Rey Skywalker. So apparently he's so special. Like all of a sudden, she chooses a lot. Come on, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like I get you're saying because I think we're all on the same page where it's like we're glad that they I guess gave it a name, but it's like the fact that you could just be good at it and have a low count. You know, it doesn't really matter.
It's like, but you know, if we were in the world of Star Wars, like if it was our reality, like should I just go around play? Oh, I'm Obi-Wan, or like I'm a Windu, or like I'm a Skywalker. Like you know,
yeah.
I like to be a nobody because at least I can be myself and not take some fucking
I get what you
heritage
mean.
for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that side of it definitely.
Yeah.
I think from my, and not to get way too into episode 9, I think the whole idea of that was all because your lineage sucks and you know your grandfather was the reason why the Empire was a thing and so many Jedi died doesn't mean you have to like fall in that lineage.
Yeah.
But I also agree with that side of things because I don't know. There's something to be said about being your own self,
Mhm.
you know, not
Yeah.
just being another Skywalker.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
for her, being another Skywalker meant being a part of this family that really was her actual family, not this shitbag,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Blood
old,
relative.
scraggly
yes.
man
Yeah, yeah,
attached to a crane.
yeah. It's like I get why she chose to like choose the name Skywalker because I don't have the best family myself. Like
Yeah.
I was watching this in the cinema and I have German family and I was like World War II and all that stuff. I'm not proud of it, but like it's not like I just replaced that part of my heritage because it's not my fault. I'm not part of it.
Yeah.
Just my grandparents did that. It's not my fault, but I get what she does also. Like she chooses the family she feels like she belongs in because I have a stepdad. He's like my dad. I chose to see him as my dad because I love him. Because he was there for me instead of my real dad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I get why, but it's also like, girl, you're weird.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I guess going back to episode 1 is like so powerful between the bond between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Because I mean, Obi-Wan is older, but he's like, "You're my little brother, dude. Like, I got you, bro. Like, you're so far away from home. I don't have anybody now. You don't have anybody now. So, dude, let's just grow together." But I'm the fucking one that makes the rules here. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Because when Clone Wars happens, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you got to go into that blockade and create a diversion. He's like, nah, I'm gonna go around back and blow him up. He's like, God, fucking damn it, Anakin.
Anakin.
Well, all I care about, Anakin, did it work? And it's like, yeah, it worked. Oh, god damn. Okay, I'll talk to the council.
Like, it's all right. I'll make it. I'll make it okay. But don't do it again. And then he's doing it up until the last arc of the series.
Yeah, it's so good.
I haven't finished it. I have not finished. I haven't finished the Clone Wars yet.
Okay,
Don't
I was
spoil
about to
anything
talk
for me,
about-
please,
Come on,
please,
man.
please.
I was about to bring something up if you could talk about Qui-Gon. He's this calm, collected. I'm here now.
Mhm.
And in the movies, I don't see that in Obi-Wan because he's his own person. But in the Clone Wars, we see an Obi-Wan that's more collected. He's more himself. He's not acting on feelings because that's not the Jedi way. But I don't know if you've seen far enough. But like Maul comes to Mandalore. He takes over the capital and takes Satine hostage. And you see this moment in Obi-Wan where he's like he's collected, but then like the fury in him breaks out, and it's what Maul also says, like like your hatred take over. I can feel your anger, and it's like no, because only the weak ones give into the dark side, and then the team goes, and Obi-Wan becomes furious, but he also something changes in him at that moment, like okay, shit, haha. I just lost another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think it's a really awesome thing that it did in the Clone Wars because Obi-Wan is characteristically very in line with how the Jedi want everyone to be and very, set their
Supposed to be
emotions
portrayed
aside.
as,
They compartmentalize their emotions and don't let things distract them from the mission at hand. And that was an amazing part of Clone Wars because it kind of shows that all of them have that weakness in one way or another.
Except for Mundi, because like he lost his entire family. It's like, oh, just get over it. It didn't matter anyways. Fuck that.
And he had like 10 wives. So
yeah, and 7 children.
Yeah,
Jesus
that was the
Christ,
thing.
dude.
I mean, again, it's hard if even in that world when you were trained not to have attachments, you can still care deeply for things. And I think that asking someone to be like, look, yeah, you can care about them all you want and you can love them to an extent, but if anything happens, you're just gonna have to get over that, bury that deep down, and never bring it up again. And that's. Again, right after that happens, Obi-Wan again is, dude, probably the closest he would ever went to going to the dark side. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's when, the feelings get the best of you, but again, you have to
I'm gonna have to pause you right there, buddy. Cricket, thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. Oh my God, bringing 7 people to the
Oh,
party.
well,
Thank
that's
you
awesome.
so much. Thank you, Cricket. We love you. Hey, Outlaw,
Thank
how's
you.
it going? And Alex. But all right, sorry. Continue.
You're good.
I have to share
Nope.
love, man.
Commercial.
Fuck it.
Commercial.
Don't matter. Don't matter, baby. What I was just gonna say is again, it shows that just about every main character, that you see, even as far as who else was it? Another Jedi. Fuck, I just watched Clone Wars the other day. I'm just saying they all had that attachment, that feeling like, I can care deeply for things, but I cannot really let my emotions get the better of the situation. And back to that being instilled in Anakin's head, which was always super hard for him to rationalize, was like, well, I feel this way and I know it's the right thing to do, but why are you telling me I can't do it? That's, I feel, kind of helped with his turn, again, seeing that the Jedi were doing all the wrong things and that maybe the Sith, not necessarily they were doing everything right and what they believed in was totally right, but the Jedi weren't perfect either, Yeah.
And I mean, the struggle that he had internally, I'm going to talk about, but real quick, thank you, Cricket, for subbing. Thank you so much. And Outlaw, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much, spreading the love everywhere. But one of the big things, like, you can tell how Anakin, like, I think what Qui-Gon really saw, and Anakin was such a pure heart that he had, like, early on, is like he knew that there was gonna be struggle, right? But he's like, hey, so if you want to come with me, I can take you off this planet and give you the training and the money and the future and everything that you want. If you just gotta leave your mom. And then he goes to his mom and he's like, bye, Mom, I'll see you later. And just
turns around.
And
that breaks my heart.
And he's like, dude, just follow your heart, man. If you want to go, let's go.
Exactly.
Dude, if you don't, just don't, man.
You know what? Also,
the council says that I have to take you because you have this metachlorian count that's fucking off the charts. He's like, but I don't give a fuck what they think. How do you feel? And he's like, I want to go, but I'm gonna miss my mommy. He's like, well, fucking go tell her. And then she's like, follow your heart, man.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the people that meant the most to Anakin was like, follow your heart. And then the people he trusted to, like, teach him things, they were like, forget about it. It's not worth it. It's like, dude, you're not setting a good example. Like, his mother, who loved him, raised him alone, as a slave. Follow your heart. She gets off. Qui-Gon, I'm gonna train you. It doesn't matter. I will help you be strong. Follow your heart. Gets off. Obi-Wan is not follow your heart. Be here right now. He doesn't go off. Slice up your legs. Leave you on a fucking desert, fucking planet with volcanoes everywhere. You get burned. Roast chicken. He loses everything, and it's also I don't know. It's a kind of a spoiler for both. Clone Wars and Rebels. So I don't know if any of you haven't watched that.
So good.
No,
Good.
okay, well,
I'm caught up on everything.
okay, good. So this is a spoiler. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep it as brief as possible. And they can get a apprentice, a Padawan, Ahsoka. They grow up in Clone Wars together. She leaves because she gets framed for something she hasn't done. And then again in Rebels, Vader and Ahsoka meets and they duel. And at that moment, when they realize, oh shit, this is my master. I'm actually like trying to fucking kill. And like Anakin comes back in Vader, like, oh shit, well, this is my Padawan, I lost her so many years ago, and I'm here again about to fucking off her. Like, everyone else I've cared for and loved has been offed. It's, everyone he cared for either gets killed or left him. And it's like a really heartbreaking thing for me, Follow your heart, see where it led you, your downfall, the Empire came, all that stuff. And it's just, it's I don't know where I want to go with this. It's just like, he wanted the one thing the most, and it was to be his own person, and it led him to this destiny.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he let anger cloud his
Damn
judgment.
it.
Yeah. He let anger cloud his judgment, and that's why Palpatine won. If, I mean, his mom having that shit happen, that sucks. But, if, like, Qui-Gon was there. That's why fucking Liam Neeson fucking killed it as
Yes.
Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
dude.
They did.
There was points where he was like, well, the council wants me to say this. I don't think you're
you
old
said,
enough.
Do you mean Qui-Gon? You said Obi-Wan.
I said, Qui-Gon. He's like, the council wants me to say this,
Mhm.
but I'm going to tell you, fuck that. What do you want to do? You know? So
Yeah, and honestly, Palpatine just had to do half of it,
Mhm.
and he had to let the Jedi Council do the rest of it. Because, to my point of Mace Windu being the
Nobody
worst
told
Jedi
you anything, did they?
ever
Oh.
on the Jedi Council,
I hate him.
he and a lot of other Jedi kind of just made Anakin feel like they couldn't have any feelings towards anything, and were ultimately the reason why his attachments became his downfall.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the reason why he couldn't feel like, he couldn't go to, his fellow Jedi to, seek refuge when, he thought his wife was going to die or his mom was going to die or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
That fear of showing affection for another person, or fear of connection, or fear of attachment really became Anakin's downfall, and he had to deal with it on his own, and he kind of self-spiraled.
Yep. Yeah. It's true. Two real quick things. Sorry, I gotta thank you, Stevie Yolo. I'm just gonna call you Stevie. Thank you for following.
Stevie!
And another big thing is, okay, Mr. Victor, chat wants to know about your tattoos that you got repping right now, buddy.
Who, me?
Yes.
All right. Well, I got
Shows that arm.
I got a little X-wing here,
X-wing.
little X-wing, and then this is my Ahsoka fulcrum
Yes,
tattoo.
I love Ahsoka. Oh my god, yes.
Dude.
Let me see if my sleeve can go up all the way.
Yes.
And then I
Oh,
got
dude.
Mando up here.
Yes.
And that's
Dude.
Frozen too.
So, as I told everybody here, look, I've known Victor for a little bit, right? We've known each other for a little bit, and every single fucking time we've ever talked, it's always Star Wars, Star Wars and video games. So I was like,
Yeah,
when
even when we should have been talking about things regarding our careers, it was not about our careers. It was about Star Wars and video games.
I feel love. I feel
Dude,
love.
it's like,
Yeah, that's what Dilf told me. He was like, "Yo, I got a buddy I used to work with. He wants to hop on the cast and talk Star Wars." I was like,
Yeah, the same thing. He told
"Motherfucker
me,
better know
like,
Star Wars
I
then."
would
And
go
I
for
have
it.
not been disappointed at all, dude. Like you got the chops, bro.
Mhm.
You got the tattoos. You got it. You're bringing it. I love it.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm happy to be on here. This is my favorite thing. I like talking about it.
now it's crazy because like this is what I have to give credit where credit is due. Okay, George Lucas made a bunch of other films and started a bunch of other universes. One of my favorite films he has ever done is THX 1138. Phenomenal.
You let me
film.
borrow that.
Dude, so fucking good. It has a representation on where society is going and how you just become this mindless drone by popping a pill and it makes you dormant. You just do your job, come home. The government decides who you marry by your bloodline and all that. And then a guy was like, fuck it, dude, I'm not taking these meds. I want to be my own person. And realizes he starts seeing the cracks in his society. Right? George Lucas kind of wrote this, and I think he wrote it in college, early college, as a project, and was like, fuck it, I'll make it into a film. And then slowly you see that being that representation of that meaning put into Star Wars, which I love. But Star Wars, it has this ability to bring so many people together and also drive them apart by different views, because it's like,
Yeah.
who hates Star Wars the most? Star Wars fans.
Star Wars fans, yeah.
It's like,
Yes,
it's
we
like-
are our own worst enemy.
I argue, and I'll fucking go on like 45-minute long rants with my wife about how this is wrong, or how I would have done this different about Star Wars, or how they said it this way in one episode and then 20 episodes later it changed for no reason. I'm like, you can't fucking do that. And she's like, look, I'm not talking. I have no opinion here, but yeah, you need to take a chill pill. And I'm like, no,
I
God
just asked
damn
what
it.
you wanted for dinner.
They did Matchstick wrong. Matchstick should have fucking survived because he was one of the only fucking clone troopers that had a thought for himself.
But listen. Here's the fun thing. He did light up as a matchstick when he died.
Ah, yeah, poor Matchstick.
So many clone names. It's like.
But I mean, we got to
Oh.
get into the Clone Wars like later because we're still in episode. Well, we're
I'm
still
Okay, so-
sorry.
the pebbles here.
So how should we do this? How should we do this? Do you want to do 1, 2, and then watch the Clone Wars
hmm
and get all of that, and then just have after
Yeah.
2 the Clone Wars
Yeah.
talk? Or are we gonna do that at the end of everything? I feel like it would be good filler. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
what I love about the Clone Wars itself was
Mhm.
George Lucas signed off on it. He was like, "Yep, that's canon. You want to take the time to tell that story? Fuck it, it's
Yeah.
canon, dude." And I
And
think
he
it
wrote-
was very,
He wrote
very
most
well
of the
done.
seasons.
Yeah, he did.
Can I just take a moment?
I didn't know how
and
much of a
say-
hand he had in it, but
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just like texting chat while I'm like, talking to you guys, and it's just like people are so nice. It's like, thank you guys.
See, Star Wars fans,
Oh,
right? Star Wars fans are fucking amazing.
we got some
Okay,
we got
so
some channel points getting
so
spent.
to explain, CJ just said ask a question. So go ahead and ask it. Ask your question, and Firewind also does a thing. So we have channel points if people don't know that make us do certain things for like whatever. One of them is eat something hot or sour. So right now I'm just gonna rep some Doritos, hot flaming
Dude,
Doritos because
You're going the hot route tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going the sour route.
Okay.
I got some Sour Patch Kids I can grab.
Switcheroo,
Do
baby.
it. Yes. If
I
you
don't
want to
have
join in,
anything.
dude.
Do it,
More than
yeah.
Yeah,
welcome, more than
let me
welcome.
grab them.
If you guys got
Jess, you
want to
drink some hot sauce?
Oh, I have that, but I don't like it.
Oh, this is gonna suck. All right,
That's the point. None of us like this.
yeah,
No,
we're
but
gonna
I'm
wait.
on a diet. I shouldn't.
All right, we waiting on you, man. The pain.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, Firewind. I'll make it
Sour
better.
Patch Kids are
next
king.
time.
Dude, they're so good.
There we go. I'm going like 6 at once.
I got a couple. All right, ready?
That's the way to do
Cheers.
it. You want to feel the burn.
3,
Hey,
2,
cheers.
1, go.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
I bit my phone.
Good shit. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
all right. Question I'm assuming is, go ahead. You read it.
Ooh, the question.
CJ
Ooh.
asks, on the topic of tattoos and Star Wars, I will be getting a tattoo of a lightsaber soon. I would love to hear the host picks for the saber I should get and why. Well, I've already got a plan. I'm going to get Qui-Gon's lightsaber hilt here. I love it. I love his lightsaber. It's so basic, but it's so powerful. So, honestly, if you're going to get one, dude, Maul's lightsaber is dope. It is fucking cool as shit.
So, I would say
Whew.
there's 2 ways to go about it. You could go off of the one lightsaber that resonated with you the most, like that character who used it. Again, how you felt about them going through the series, their arc. Again, that's why he's got Qui-Gon's, because super fucking badass character. He's already said, that's my favorite character.
Oh, yeah.
Everything he stood for was pretty damn dope. But you could also do that with Anakin's lightsaber, because it changes hands 3 times, right? You have
True.
it used for good and then evil, and then it's been brought back for a redemption with both Luke and Rey. Because Luke was given the lightsaber, and that kind of set him on the Jedi path. All right, so that set forth the new era of Jedi. Was when it went to Luke, and then Luke loses it, yada yada yada. All these years later, Rey gets that same redemption. She gets that lightsaber and is able to use that to redeem what her family did. So that lightsaber is, again, I think, just a redemption tool.
That's a good one.
So if I was going to do it, I'd probably get that lightsaber for that reason.
I think if I had
But
to get a
Maul's is super
lightsaber-
badass.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. If I had to get a lightsaber tattooed, it would have to be Ahsoka's. She has like force and things, Um, I can just and relate to her a lot because she grows up from like being this naive girl to to grow up, she gets blamed for something she hasn't done, she's thrown out, well, she's not thrown out, she leaves, but she's been through so many things, she's been blamed for something she hasn't done, she isn't treated well by the Jedi, she sees through the flaws of it all. And I can just relate to that because in the end she becomes her own person. It's like, well, I was once part of this, and I don't want to be that anymore because I'm on my own. But now I know who I am. That's what I'm gonna go through with. And also, just because she's fucking awesome, I use her lightsabers in a VR game. I have
I
to
can see
kill
that.
people, so just fucking dual wield them, just like step, step, step.
Hell yes.
So
And
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's
Yeah.
a good point because again, she was taught all of the Jedi code. She um, was a part of it for a long time, and she saw through the cracks and everything that it wasn't perfect, and she used that knowledge to, kind of create a good, mental caricature of who she was going to be. Okay, I see the good in things. The Jedi has taught me that, and it's also taught me to see the bad in things. But I also know that it's all about perception. Some people do things that they think is good, but it's for the wrong reasons.
mhm.
And the fact that she does kind of go off and become her own Jedi and has the white lightsabers by the end, I think is super
Yeah.
cool because again, her whole arc is amazing. The fact that
It's
they were able to
amazing.
take
She's great.
a fresh new character from something that again we all grew up with the live action movies. Now they're doing a TV show, and we're going to see those characters that we saw on the big screen. But who's this new one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I
Yeah.
feel about it.
She was really
And
hated.
just
She was really hated. No one liked her in this
I
fight. And
know.
that was
Especially in
Dave
the
Filoni's
the
plan.
debut movie. Yeah. I mean, no one liked her at
Mhm.
all.
I hated her. I hated her, and
I
that
didn't
was
like
just
her
like
at
my
all. She
favorite
was.
character.
I thought she was annoying at first, but yeah. I mean, Josh, I totally agree with you. I mean, like to give the my input on the tattoo idea. You have two routes. You got whatever speaks to you the most,
Mhm.
and for me that is either Qui-Gon or Ahsoka. For me, I plan on getting a Qui-Gon lightsaber tattoo to complement my wrist on this wrist right here. But Ahsoka, stands true to that as well. But you have another route, like whatever one looks most aesthetically pleasing for you. So like I think Kylo's lightsaber looks pretty dope, and you can get that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, so chaotic. I love it. I love
Yeah,
how
and I love it.
chaotic.
Dude,
love it.
how many of us didn't again expect that? You have a lightsaber that actually looks like a sword. You've got the cross guard on it. Like,
You got the
come
long.
on.
Yeah.
We all wanted to see it.
It's amazing.
And he swings it like it's a freaking long sword, And he's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Dude, I love it.
There is.
Yeah.
Is
I
it in
love,
the?
dude.
It's like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
No, is it like in what is it the second one they made with the one legs? Where he's like, where is it when like the people he slaughters in the start, and like, he has it reversed and stack them, pick them up, and just like flip them. I just love that. It was like,
Oh yeah.
I
It's-
do that when I play with a saber. I take them, step them, just flip them. Next.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's something with it because like it's a different lightsaber, so like you have different ways to execute your enemies with, which is like brainer. What the fuck?
Because his sword style was just
Mhm.
brute fucking force.
Yeah.
yeah.
And him
Vader.
having zero training on how to actually build a fucking lightsaber from
Mhm.
with the ground up, he made it to where it was like a reactor vent, or it was just like sparking, and if you hit it too hard, it probably will explode. But he's like,
Mhm.
fuck it, man. If it blows up, it blows up, and
And-
it's so cool.
That cross guard is actually essentially exhaust. Where
Mhm.
he didn't know what to do with that,
Hmm.
surplus of power coming through, and
Hi, Kayla.
made it a cross guard.
And one of the coolest things is when he hits it, he shakes it down hard, like he
Yeah.
turns it
Dude,
on
yeah, he
hard.
he throws it out, dude. I love that shit, dude.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it's just brute force.
I think what it was he saw that everybody in his lineage was getting their hands cut off, so he needed a cross guard to keep them from getting too close with that shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have the Force Effects version of that lightsaber, and if I was swinging that around, I would have cut my hands off multiple times because of that cross guard.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
Dude, it was crazy.
Dude.
I was in a chat one time, and they asked if oh no, it was one of our last podcasts, and we were talking about Indian in the cupboard, and we were talking about what would you put in the cupboard and make real, and I was like, a fucking lightsaber, dude. Like 100%, throw that
That's
bitch in
super
there,
smart.
turn the key, pull it open, boom, you got a lightsaber. I mean, I'd probably cut my
Number
hand
one.
off. I'd probably cut
Oh,
my
yeah.
leg off, but worth it.
Fuck it.
Okay,
Just be there and
Yeah.
operating, just hitting the button.
we've had 2 redeem points for ask a question. Firewind was first,
Mhm.
and now Ace of Base is in the chat, dude.
Nice. Sweet. Thanks
So
for tuning in.
let's see.
All right, let's see.
We got to highlight the messages as well, so go ahead and check those out.
Great answers for everyone. Appreciate you guys. Maul Saber is badass. My pal Spark wants to ask a question but doesn't have enough channel points. Dude, just ask. Just type it in, man. We'll ask.
Yeah, I told them like just fuck it, fuck the points, just
Yeah,
ask.
dude. Eat something hot and sour. Fuck. Okay. All right.
I'm
Got some
sorry,
more
I
time
can't
back.
be there.
No, you're
I'm rooting
fine.
for you guys.
So,
Dude, it was so hot. I got a cut on my tongue because I bit it. Now I'm a big old baby. But I mean, you know, that's a good question to ask because it's like, fuck, dude, the lightsabers are so cool. That's why I love Qui-Gon's. It's so basic.
Dude,
But
I don't even
Oh, yeah.
like the way that
Dude,
his hilt looks.
Yes.
I don't like how it looks.
Me
but that is
either.
the one I'm gonna get tattooed because he speaks
It's
to me on such a high level, and he and Ahsoka kind of like had the same. That's why I like them both for the same reasons.
Yeah.
But Qui-Gon holds that 1999 value to me. You know, when I was little.
Mhm.
yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm. 100.
Obviously, I love Ahsoka too. So
Yeah, I like that
it's so
tattoo.
hot. But because his hilt is like, it looks like a longsword hilt. That's all it is. It's just a longsword hilt with a red
it's just
button.
it's
Fancy
just a
to
long
have something
cylinder.
fancy.
I know, and it's like
So,
it's so cool. And the fact they gave
So,
him green. is
Spark's
awesome.
question.
Okay, go ahead. Woo!
Spark's question was, what interests you guys about most about sci-fi, and what turns you off most in sci-fi story?
Ooh, I got this. Is world building is fucking massive draw to me.
Yes.
You can have a
Yes.
fucking baseline story. Good guy kills bad guy, right? That's it. No redemption, no arc, whatever. But if the fucking world building is fucking massive, like I am 100% invested. I mean, even like I get into video games. There's an old game that everybody hates, Two Worlds. That game was a dog shit excuse for a video game, but the world building was so invested, but it was so broken that it wasn't worth it. But what kills it for me is a bad ending. If a fucking series has a bad ending, here's looking at you, Game of Thrones. If it has a bad ending, I'm not invested. But okay,
Damn.
I'm not gonna get into it. But the ending was so dumb.
I have not watched any
Why do
of
you
it,
think
and
I
don't
came all
intend
this
to.
way?
Oh.
It's like, dude, fuck you, okay? No, that's not what happened. That's not what's going to happen. So fuck off. Fuck you, fuck off. I'm sorry. But it's world building
Okay.
and a bad
You
ending
good?
ruins it. I'm my piece. There's mine.
What
Fuck
interests
Game of Thrones
me,
is what I just heard.
I don't know really what interests me about sci-fi. It's just like I've always loved like space, like the universe and the galaxy and stuff like that. Now, Star Wars has always been part of my childhood. I grew up with it, and what makes it unique is that laser sword and some kind of force power you have to choke people and like force lightning. Just the universe, the characters, the weapons, especially the weapons for me, because like you want something when you look at it as a young person, if you want to build a universe, make it for younger people, because then they grow up with it and show their kids it, in the future, evolving, then you have more potential, just
Yeah.
a thing. But like a lightsaber is something everyone wants because it's fucking awesome. Oh, there's red and there's blue and there's green and there's all these colors,
Yeah.
Make a unique world, unique characters, and especially a unique weapon. Space station, spaceships, shooting weapons, it doesn't matter. Just a unique something that's dangerous but can also be good. A good use of it.
That's a good point.
That's what turns me the most on with it. Turns me off is that like, oh, we have this alien race, they were once dominant, now they're nothing. Like, you don't go from being one thing to be another thing unless something really tragic happens. Like, don't make it, glide over easily. Like, come on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because it's like,
I get that.
hey, I want to be, I want to be a president. Why? I don't know. Just
Yeah, exactly. Like, no,
I didn't want to.
make them fake.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have a two-part answer to that question. First part, with anything, what's going to draw me in is the character arcs, the way I can, relate to the different characters and find truths in my own life. And, I find that with certain characters in Star Wars, and it's very encouraging to me that you can find that in a fantasy world. And the word fantasy kind of brings me to my next point, which are I'd really find Star Wars more of a fantasy world more than a sci-fi world, where sci-fi for me is more like Star Trek, where it's like,
yeah,
like Earth, you go off to the great unknown, where Star Wars is more of like a different world in its own. It's a galaxy far, far away, and it's this complete fantasy where things don't have to make sense, and that's kind of the beauty of it. And people pick apart, the gravity issues and fire in space and all these things, but I think it's completely different than sci-fi, and it's more of a fantasy. But I've fallen in love with that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, that's what
answer, man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I was gonna say for me, the draw to sci-fi. Piggyback off of Victor though was like, I need good storytelling. It could be here on Earth, it could be out in space. I need a good story. That's gonna draw me into anything. Again, and relatability. Can I see myself in the character?
Thank you, Wu-Tang. Thank you so much for subbing. Thank you, dude.
So happy.
Thank you so much for subbing. Okay, sorry. Continue.
You're good. Just saying again, good storytelling. Can I see myself in one of the characters? Any character, good guy, bad guy. Can I put myself in those shoes? If I'm just sitting there watching things play out, I'm not invested. It's not good to me,
I gotta cut you off again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ace, for subbing again for the 2-month sub. Thank you, dude. Okay.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
All right. Gang, gang.
We have to eat, guys. Sorry, you have to eat something hot and sour.
Motherfucker.
All right, continue. Me and Victor got this, man. We got it. Come on. You got more.
I was just gonna say, what turned me off is just stuff being done for no reason. Things that aren't really pivotal to the plot. Everybody's on it.
3 times.
You know what? I like sci-fi. There's nothing I don't like about it. Give it all to me.
I gotta switch to sour. This shit's so hot.
All right, I got to eat like 6 more. Firewind, did you have a question?
Yeah.
He had a long question, like something if Vader was Vader's redemption, if he was ever redeemed in our eyes.
Okay. Jedi's take considerable amount of influence from the real world beliefs. Taoism. It's so hot. Human perspective is what's redemption. What are your thoughts on Vader's redemption when he redeemed it? I want to dive more deep into that when we get to that episode, right? Because I mean we got a long way to go, but I will give you a teaser.
Just answer the end of it. Answer the end of it. Was he redeemed in your eyes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You think that redeemed?
No.
The look.
Out of
okay?
my eyes.
The perfect
No.
example.
No.
The right. Let me look at you. With my
1,000%, yes, he was redeemed.
Yeah.
Like,
Bayazura.
Oh,
so the one moment in Star Wars that gives me chills every single time I watch it is Luke Skywalker saying, "No, I'm a Jedi like my father before me," and then Vader looking up like,
Bayazura.
"Damn, I gotta really step up to this right now."
yeah.
And he's like, "I gotta
like,
throw this
my
motherfucker
boy.
off this fucking ledge," and he does it.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me hyped every time I watch Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
That's why Return of the Jedi is like top 5 for me.
Oh yeah, dude. George Lucas was asked a question during an interview when he was making episode 1, I think. They said, "Is there something that you have directed that still moves you? That like it is still your favorite?" He says, "Well, I made a lot of stuff. I wrote a lot of stuff, but he's like, honestly, it's the throne. I think he called it the throne room scene in Return of the Jedi. He's like, that entire thing still gives me goosebumps every time I watch it." And I'm like, exactly, dude. That is one of the most fucking pivotal arcs in the entire Star Wars saga that just has so much weight, because even not knowing the full in-depth story as from 1 to now, just knowing for 2 prior movies of this dude's an asshole, what's gonna happen, and this guy's his son, what's gonna happen, it's just so fucking much weight.
Bayazura.
My God, Ace gifting out subs. Oh
So-
man.
And
Thank you so much.
So,
So I'll say, like, his redemption arc is a very complicated story, because the whole everything about Anakin is that he's going to bring a balance to the Force. You know, that's what he was, promised to do. But like, we don't really know what that means. What is the balance? Does it mean Jedi control? Does that mean Sith control? Does that mean a balance of both of them? Like, we don't really know what that means. So it's a hard question to answer for me, because, like, for me, I mean, I would never want the Jedi to control everything, because I think they're a little too hoity-toity political, at least in the prequel days. So that's a non-answer for you right there.
Can we
so what I like about the redemption, sorry, Josh.
No, it's
is the again, we were talking about it earlier, was the father figure aspect, which I'm ripping this off of Dave Filoni, and just the way he put it, it made me think about it. It was like, well, fuck, this is awesome. Again, so he was born on Tatooine. He loses his mother. He sees a father figure in Qui-Gon, loses that. Again, doesn't have a father figure in his life. Obi-Wan is more of the brother. Then Palpatine, again, kind of takes him under his wing. That's, the other father figure he's kind of looking for. He's putting that into people. And when he learns about these powers that the guy he looks up to can offer him to save his wife, the one person that he would do anything for, he does. He kind of is taken back by it. He's like, well, am I going to really go down that path that I have been taught for the last 12 years to avoid? And then he does. He takes that leap towards something that isn't given to him at all. So he does. He goes down the dark side path, does all these bad things, and in the end, he still doesn't get what he was promised. And then years and years go by. He finds out that his son, the one thing that ties him back to Padme, the one thing that he loved, is out there. He has a son that survived. And I think from the moment he found out that he had a kid, like in there, he's kind of reflecting on himself. Again, in Empire, he's like, join me, together we could take down the Emperor, father and son. And that was, in his own way, I feel like he was trying to make up for some of the things he did by doing that. Having his son work with him to defeat the evil that promised him so much. And then you get to Return of the Jedi, and it's the throne room scene. He get into the fight, again, Vader doing what the Emperor wants, fighting Luke, and then Luke has the opportunity to strike down Vader. He doesn't do it. You get the line, I am a Jedi like my father before me. And dude, he's taken back by it, he sees something in me that I haven't felt in a really, really long time. And then he's laying on the floor crying out, Father, help me. You know, that's something that Anakin himself could never say because he never had that father figure. So he takes that chance to do one good thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't make up for killing a bunch of younglings and things like that, he did something good for himself, for his son, and for Padme.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a fucking redemption. I think he redeemed himself in that moment, man.
Guys.
So go ahead. We gotta.
I'm done.
We
I'm done.
have to do a staring contest.
The day has come. We gotta stare. We got a hype train, but the day has come, Mr. Ligma. We have a staring contest.
We're doing the staring contest?
We got it. You've been
All right,
waiting on
everybody
that
get in
fucking
on this
thing
shit.
forever.
Okay.
All right, so guys, we have,
I'll
like
take
I
off my
said, channel
glasses for
points.
this.
One of the ones that we've been waiting on is
Whoop,
to
whoop,
have a
whoop.
staring contest. All right, it's funny because I have two cameras, so I'm gonna have to look at the one because you guys are not gonna see me staring at you. I'm gonna be staring at the other one. Okay, ready? Someone count us off. No one's gonna count us off.
I'll do it.
All right. All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Why do I look? You guys at the camera.
Just look at the camera. So, one of the other big things is like, it's such a I know
I'm
it's
out.
it's such a powerful moment in like the Star Wars universe where I got sweat in my eye. Ah!
Yeah.
It's like such a powerful moment is when Anakin turns to his mom and he's like, I don't think I should go. He's like, I really don't think I should go. You know.
Come on, guys. She's so close. Come on.
Oh my god.
Dude, my contacts are so blurry right now.
No, big on. Keep going. Keep going.
Give
I
in
can't
to
see.
your hate.
I can't see anything right now.
I'll just move around a little bit. You might hear some noises. because-
Did I win?
Yes, you won.
Yes, you won. Winner of the first
We can't have the
staring
guests win.
contest
That's
of
bullshit.
2021.
God.
That's bullshit.
Log line to my sci-fi. It's that okay? I'd like to know if you guys have original or dumb. Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
You can, if you
Spark?
want, you can hit me up on my own Twitch. You can send me a message or like friend me, and I'll like help you because I'm writing one myself. So like, just go ahead.
100% share it.
Hey guys, I'm a little disappointed right now.
Okay.
We've been on here for about an hour and a half. We haven't brought up trade routes or blockades at all.
Oh yeah.
We've not done what?
Dude, that's what we're gonna get to the heart of this thing.
So like
This is why I wanted to be on this podcast today.
the trade route, like the whole trade routes. So, do you think that the whole trade route negotiation, right?
You think the negotiations were too short?
Well, you can say the negotiation.
They were right about one thing. Negotiations were short.
They were short.
Do you think it was all a ploy?
God.
Like I can't remember if it is. Like
It is. It's every according to Palpatine's pompous ass.
Mhm.
All of that was leading up to his taking over the universe. So
Oh, speaking of which,
He needed all of that.
there's a point
Oh, dude.
that
Go
I
ahead,
actually
go
wanted
ahead.
to bring this up. That I rewatched the movie not even like 30 minutes before, like we jumped on this. So there's the part where Palpatine is walking in with I can't remember the general's name that watched over Padme. I can't remember his name. He walks in to talk to Padme. And
Echo.
yes, he's like, "Hey, so good news. Palpatine just got
Panada. It was Panada.
Panada." He's like,
in
"Hey,
episode
just
one.
good
Yeah.
news. Palpatine just got nominated to be on the to basically run the Senate." And she's like, "Okay." And he just, "Oh yeah, I have no doubt that I'll win." And then he sits down and was like, "I know I'll win it." And the music just stops, like boop, because there's a trumpet, like boop. And then she's like, I can't do this. I gotta go back to Naboo, and you hear ba-da-da-ba-ba, and it like picks back up very slight. But as soon as he sits down and was like, I know I'll win it, all music stops, and there's just this awkward silence. And it's a zoom in on his face, and he just like stares at her. So I'm like, this has to be a fucking foreshadow moment. This has to be,
Oh yeah.
You want to know something? You want to know something screwed up though? I mean, 1999 when this came out, right? I am right about that. Was it 99?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was 6, maybe 7 years old.
God,
All
you
right.
fucking baby.
Now, I shut up. Okay, I at that time
I was
my
4
parents they
years old.
had 4, 5, and
I wasn't even born.
so, all right, okay. So my parents they had 4, 5, 6 on VHS.
Mhm.
All right, and I loved those movies. All right. Now again, this is the older ones where in 5 and it does like the little hologram of the emperor. It's all fucked up and doesn't look like
It looks like a goddamn
Chibi.
clay animated
and
doll.
It was a lady.
yeah,
Oh,
so-
whoops.
yeah, it was a late.
Really?
Yeah,
It was.
I thought it was a puppet.
they yeah,
Oh yeah. No, it was a
I
monkey
think it was-
with a mask on, and then they changed it to the
it was a
lady.
monkey. Yeah.
Oh.
It was all sorts of shit. Okay, that's why it's unrecognizable because it was just a
Oh.
cluster.
But it was also
So-
a lady.
It was a
also
lady monkey.
Oh, I didn't know
Also
that. I've legitimately all these years I
So-
was like, this is a good fucking Muppet. Like, holy shit.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, continue.
So okay, you're good. So you get to episode 6 and you get to see the Emperor do his thing. All
Yeah.
right. I did not connect the dots that dude who was the Emperor was Palpatine until episode 2.
Mm.
Okay. As a kid watching it, I didn't connect that dot. Again, it's doing like the dark, ominous music playing like during certain scenes with him in the first one, and I didn't piece that together.
Mm.
And I sit back and I watch it now again after knowing what I have, which is years and years of watching this shit and just seeing like the little things, his little quirks that he does and he says, and it's him pulling the strings the whole fucking time. And that is the coolest thing to me. Again, from what we see in the beginning, oh, well, you should probably petition a vote of no confidence for this guy because he's not going to really help you out. You know, the bureaucrats are going to line his pockets really good so they don't have to do anything about the separatists on your planet invading. And he's like, Padme, you know, I might want to try to vote him out. And he's like, well, I'll just step in and take on that role then. And again, everything just played out in his favor so seamlessly almost. Again, there's moments again in Clone Wars where certain things will happen where he's like, well, that's unexpected. And we have to kind of, roll with the punches here.
As
But
it is with every good
everything,
plan. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's just super, super fucking cool that he's playing both sides of it. And I don't know. He had a plan. He just had a plan. I don't know where I'm going with this. He had a plan and it worked out.
He was
Yeah.
done.
No, and I'll say like it was too smart of science fiction fantasy for what we got. Like it was too much. Like I mean I love the movie and everything about it, but the fact that it was about, trade routes, and I'm not hating on it at all, but the fact that was the ploy, it was too well done.
Yeah.
Like everything was too smart, and you have some people scratching their heads like, what in the fuck is going on now?
Yeah. Because like the whole thing, like a lot of people say, hey, the question is, did he use a Jedi mind trick on some of the senators to kind of whatever? Because that is,
I'm sure.
He had to have. But at the same time, I want it personally. I want to say no, because I want to have him be like as a the dark entity, like the guy that controls all, that has his hands and everything. Have him be so powerful. He's like, that shit's for babies. I'm just gonna manipulate them by making them feel weak, and making them do what I want by making them feel weak instead of influence them. It's more like, no, you are going to do this because you know what? You're bad at your job and you're a fucking idiot, you stupid piece of shit. I'll do it better. And they're like, okay, fine. And it's not like, you have to give me the droids. And it's like, I have to give you the droid. Wait a minute, So I'm like, I wonder if it was more or less like he was so diabolical that he just like swooped in.
He was a good politician though too. Again, he was a
he
wordsmith,
was
silver
loved by
tongue.
many.
Yeah. And I mean, again, you have people in the Senate who, I mean, Clone Wars tells you that they sided with the Separatists even before they knew that those were the real bad guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, they even had a
Yeah, I
spot
mean-
in the Senate. People who were controlling it.
Nobody told
And
you
a lot
anything,
of them
did they?
ended up being part of the rebellion.
What were they
Yeah.
trading anyway? What was the big thing that they were trading?
Spices.
Spice.
Spice. Isn't it like the
Hard drugs.
yeah? I mean,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Spice actually is like the equivalent of drugs in the Star Wars universe.
Mm.
Want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to tell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
I'm gonna go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
dude, and it just flashes, and he's just
Same.
like,
I want a
Oh,
mini
shit.
series on that motherfucker.
dude,
That dude. That. He does. He goes home and he's like, "What
Rethought
have I
his
been
life
doing
and
with my life?"
changed the world.
yeah, it like goes
His
to his house.
philanthropic efforts on the poverty in Coruscant.
Yeah, it
In
goes
the lower
home.
levels.
It goes home, and
That's
he's
what I want.
He's sitting on a bed that has no frame. It's just on the fucking ground. And there's like a fucking
Hey.
diner sign that the light's flashing in through his room. And there's like a train going by, and he's just like, I am somebody. I can do this. I can do it. And he says, you got the touch. Ba, ba, ba. You got the power. And he's like, yeah. And he goes and changes the world. And then at the very end, he's like, Obi-Wan is like real old and decrepit. It's right before he meets Luke. And he's like, goes down to Tatooine, and he's like, Ben Kenobi? And he's like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, I just want to let you know, you changed my life, man. You're the only
Aw.
person that believed in me, and I just want to know. And he's like, watch out, people! And then the Tusken Raider shoots him, and then he dies, and then that's it.
I was gonna say this is
say-
the perfect prologue to the biography of Elon Musk. So
Oh my god.
You find out that he's that guy that came to Earth, like just.
and then he changed the world.
Dude, that is a very, very good twist. I was gonna end it with like, oh, I decided to turn my life around. I got a job. I'm working on something called the Death Star, and
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's the
Tesla.
engineer.
No Death Stars here, only Tesla.
Yeah.
I love
I'm working for
CJ.
Tesla now.
I love CJ wrote
I
that
created
like
Tesla.
Death Sticks guy is now working 9 to 5 with 2 kids and a loving partner thanks to Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, dude, that's how it should have been.
Mhm.
Oh my god, it would have been. Yeah, dude, another one. I want a story on the construction crew on the Death Star.
Hell yeah.
Because, dude, okay. I will get into that really deep, but honestly, when the second Death Star was being built, there wasn't enough fucking stormtroopers to go around as just an introduction crew, because the Death Star was already built by the time that the first one was destroyed. So now there's like construction workers and engineers working on the second one. You cannot tell me that innocent didn't die when they blew it up. It had to have fucking happened.
On
it's
the
just
second
like,
one,
yeah, the second Death Star when it was.
dude. So there's this whole thing. Not to go back into episode 6 right now, but there's this whole. If you watch the scene of Luke talking to Anakin, if you will, because he's saved at that point,
Mhm.
you hear all these blaster shots in the background, and it's all these stormtroopers shooting each other because there's not enough escape pods
Yeah,
because the Death Star's not done, and there's all these construction workers there too,
Oh.
yeah. So think how
and
sinister.
they're all
were
killing each
talking-
other to get off.
We were just talking about that, Dilf. And
Yeah.
I said this because I didn't think about it, and I went back and rewatched it, and I heard it, and I was like, do you think some of them are, and this is super dark, are just offing themselves because they know that they're not going to make it out and don't want to
Oh,
die in a
yeah.
fiery space explosion?
That's the Star Wars I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
That's
there's
dark as shit. I love it. I
There's
love
zombies.
Call me-
There's zombies in the Star Wars
messed it up,
universe.
motherfucker. I want to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to be like, man, I can't take this anymore. Who fucking farted? Bang! And just shoots himself. So
Nick Swartzen, classic.
it's like,
The t-shirt gun. Yo, hit me up over here. Nuh-uh.
but yeah, it's just like,
Oh god.
it's so powerful. And like another thing is like go way, 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 way back to the episode 1, as this whole entire thing was supposed to be about. But
That's
like,
okay, dude.
with the other
It's
pod
okay.
racers, like one thing I've always wondered about death and destruction, when they wreck and shit, how many of them actually die during that race?
Most of them.
They
Ooh.
mostly
Oh,
died,
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
dude. Because the
Like you hear Shmi talk about it, and she says like it is a I can't quote her verbatim, but she said it's a very deadly sport or whatever, and
Oh man.
every time that Anakin goes out, she's like, "Oh, I almost die every time you do it," because she's worried that Anakin's gonna die racing.
Exactly.
And the fact that he can do it is amazing because he's a human, and apparently all these other aliens have better reflexes.
Which, I mean, I get, because they're all pretty much veterans when it comes to pod racing. But it's just like, some of them just like, dude, there's no way.
No,
you're
they
walking
die.
from
They're
that.
dead.
And
It's like
Well,
watching a Fast and
he
Furious
had
movie.
to
It's
have-
like dead. Everyone's dead.
yeah, dude.
So like he had to have right before this, like when they get to Tatooine, he's building a racer because he crashed and totaled the last one. So he was in a wreck and was able to walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? Granted, we don't know how bad it was. He could have just got a flat tire and had to pull off to the side of the road and got out to change it, and somebody crashed into it right in front of him. He was like, well, shit, there that goes. But are we eating?
Yeah, we got to.
Yep.
I picked up on the vibe. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just going to keep it rolling. All right, cheers. Oh, God, it's going to suck.
I'm rooting. Woo, you can do it. Go ahead, guys. Woohoo.
So there is a highlighted message as well from CJ.
Mhm.
20th Century Fox board. How do we get the new generation of kids to care about Star Wars? New lightsabers, maybe a fun new character, or maybe, George Lucas chimes in, intergalactic trade disagreements.
Yeah.
I'll take this one.
I would rather watch space politics than have Jar Jar in it. I'm sorry. but,
Really?
like, yeah.
The short answer to the short and quick answer to that is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
for
we
sure.
have a very validated vast of consumers from 1977 who can say that they love Star Wars. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like I said before, I get the whole
Oh my God.
the idea, but given the kids something to giggle at, clumsy ass Jar Jar,
Dude,
but
they needed merchandise selling points, man. Again, because they knew that they were going to attract the fans who saw the originals. And over the years, younger kids, they would get into it. My parents, they watch Star Wars. They got me turned on to it. But I mean, if you weren't totally invested in it as like a child, you got to have those childish elements as your selling point. Oh, you got the clumsy, funny
that's such a
talking
good point.
alien guy.
yeah.
And I mean, they did that with the Porgs. They did that with, the Ewoks. Just something cute, and it gets
The Jawas are fucking
merchandise and
adorable.
selling points. Jawas. I would love to have a Jawa.
But okay,
That is a really good point that you just made. That hooking, like getting people introduced to Star Wars early, because I've introduced people to Star Wars when they're our age. I'm 26, and like I've introduced people at our age, and like it doesn't really have the same draw. But for me, it's such a nostalgia feel. So, getting people introduced to it at an early age and like understanding why it's so important and so meaningful
Agreed.
is
agreed. Because
Oh, dude, it's more than just sword fights. I was gonna say there's more to it than just cool laser sword fights and space explosions and ships. The story in it does have like the main things on the surface, but when you look into it, like there's a deeper meaning to everything that they're saying, they're doing, that is happening, and you can apply those things to the real world of what's happening around us and see some of that shit is the same, just without the space swords.
It's the same story with a different like layer of paint on top of it. Like, and I think that's what's so crazy, because what I was gonna say was like my wife is, I'll be honest, like there's two types of people on the planet. There's Nickelodeon kids and there's Disney kids. That's the truth. So like my wife's a Disney person, and my oldest, what I was doing was like when I was a stay-at-home dad, my wife was always like, hey, show her Disney movies, get her in the Disney movies, get her into Disney movies. And I was like, all right, we gonna do Disney? We watched episode 4. I mean, it's a Disney movie now.
Boy,
It is.
So not too long ago,
Leia's a Disney princess.
we watched Yeah, I dude, exactly. We watched episode 1. And we watched it from the very beginning. It was like 2 in the morning. She woke up, and I was like, "You need to go back to bed." She's like, "No, I don't want to sleep." I was like, "Well, we're gonna watch a movie." So we watched Star Wars, and her favorite parts were, of course, the lightsaber battles. She's like, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
And then 2,
Yeah.
Verbatim.
I will tell that story again. I actually have a story that you guys will laugh. But the second one was
Oh, dude.
she loved the pod race. She fucking was
It's
like,
cool, man.
she was glued. She was just like, "What happened?" And I was like, "He wrecked." And she's like, "Oh, just like whatever." But the story I was gonna tell was where I work. I was working at my desk, and I get up to go talk to my wife because we work from home now, thanks COVID. But thank you. I mean, I like working from home. It's a lot easier. But sorry for everybody that doesn't. I like it, so fuck you. My opinion is very valid. So I get up to go
Yes.
talk to my my wife, and my oldest is playing with a rocking chair she was sitting in, and I say, "So what do you want to eat for lunch?" And my oldest is like, "Nobody gives a shit." Just like that. And I was just like, I was mad, but at the same time, I was like, I am so proud of you for using it in the correct context. But you cannot talk to me that way. Do not say that. That's a bad word. And she said, "I'm sorry." I was like, "It's all right."
So there has been another ask a question from CJ,
Mhm.
and Kayla has a highlighted message that we can all take part in. Which I've got my opinions on this. I will go last. So feelings on the Star Wars Christmas special from 1978.
I got a good answer to that.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so
Space
my
trash.
all right, my quick draw answer is it is trash, but it is something that we all hold dear to our hearts. Although it does have the original appearance of Boba Fett and the droids animated little special that they have on there, which is very cool, which I've watched multiple times. I have the little Funko Pop of Boba Fett from that episode, which is very cool. So
That's awesome.
I think there's a lot of cool things to be brought out of that holiday special. That being said, there's a reason why it's not on Disney Plus right now, and Disney is hiding from it, like the cowards they are. But I don't disagree with them in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
So I remember seeing as a kid, just like Caleb, my mom had it on VHS. My mom was a big cinema person. Everyone that's ever been to my house knows, dude, my mom had like thousands of DVDs and thousands of VHSs. She was fucking that person. Like, I grew up watching just every cinema. Like, I've probably seen so many fucking movies that I could tell you like 9 that had the exact same story plot of anything else. Just because, you know, it's easy. It's easy writing. But the Christmas special, to me, does hold a huge thing. Whip, whip, stir is still one of my favorite lines to quote. I fucking love quoting that shit because it geeks me out. But 2, some of it was creepy, right? Let's be honest. Carrie Fisher in that was a little bit too much, having too much pixie sticks, if you catch my drift. So she doesn't like really act like Princess Leia. She's like, "So where's Luke, man?" Yeah, dude. So she doesn't, you know, it's fine. It's Carrie Fisher. She will always be number 1.
She's our princess.
But man, oh man, is it hard to watch, especially Grandpa, dude.
Oh, hi, Grandpa. Oh no, no.
Grandpa shoot. Victor, I think we lost your video feed there, buddy.
No, he said
It
that
said something. He had to.
his headphones chargers.
Okay, sorry, but yeah. So like, to me, it's not bad. It's not the best.
I never watched it. I never
Never
watched
seen-
it. No.
Thank you, Jesh, because I haven't watched it either. I've seen
Okay.
snippets. I've never actually sat down and watched the full Life Day
Mm-mm.
special.
Okay, so
But
you know the story, right?
I'll say
No.
I do,
Okay.
but
No.
here's what I was going to say. I recently we watched Rise of Skywalker, and at the end of that, on Disney Plus, it had whatever was coming next, which was the Lego Star Wars Special Life Day. Okay, and I have never watched any of the Lego Star Wars stuff, like at all. But I will highly recommend the Lego Star Wars Life Day Special now. Like if you can, when this is over, hop on Disney, watch it. It is amazing. Okay,
I
like
would
and it
love
picks up
to.
right at the end of. It's good. It's really good actually. It picks up right after 9.
Mhm.
So everything that happened in 9, that happens, and this is what happens after. It's Christmas. It's time for the holiday. They go to Kashyyyk to be with Chewie's family again, which is what I understand happens in the original Life Day special.
Mhm.
And it's cool because Ray actually picks up training with Finn, trying to train him to be a Jedi, and that is all I will tell you. I will not spoil anything else, but it is super cool.
So with the 78 one, here's the storyline. Chewie's on his way home, right? And they're having troubles. Go figure. Chewie has a son that's bouncing around with old creepy grandpa Chewie, like Wookiee, and he's flipping through channels, and every segment is kind of a channel on there, and then there's also a segment where Mama Chewie is trying to cook, and there's it's a very hard watch, but it's like what you're gonna do is whip stir, whip stir, and it just gets faster and faster. It's crazy to watch. Then there's animated parts, and then there's like live action parts. There's a musical number. It's
I got
it's like a fever dream.
Doesn't Mark Hamill have blonde hair?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, his
very,
blonde
very
hair was
blonde
disgusting in
hair.
that.
Yeah, I think one of the reason why he had it was because he was doing another role or something like that.
He was.
And like he already did the whole makeup and a hair dye and all that shit. He's like, "Fuck, you want me to do what now? Fine."
So the like deep fake of him in the Mandalorian more like it looked more like him than it did in 1978 when they did the holiday special.
Yeah,
Just to give you a little reference, it was bad.
yeah. But it's nostalgia. And by the way, Kayla, if you can find that VHS copy, that shit's worth a shit ton of money. Because George Lucas
yeah.
himself went on a fucking scavenger mission to find all those fucking copies. Just like they did with the ET copy of like the Atari 2600 game.
They're buried out in the desert of Tatooine somewhere.
next to a hut. Yeah.
Who's these two burnt people here? Fuck it. Just move them over. We need the room.
Scoot them over. Throw them in the hole. I think, there was 2 questions on here.
Mm-hmm.
So, CJ, what do you guys think happens to Kitster after episode 1? Does he fall into the criminal underbelly of Tatooine, or perhaps seeing Anakin win the pod race encourages him into a life in the fast lane on the pod racing circuit? Now, we all know who Kitster is, right?
Mhm.
No,
Yeah, I'd like to take this one.
no, I don't remember.
Kitster is one of his like little buddies on Tatooine. He's kind of helping him work on the pod racer.
Yeah, okay.
And
The scene that you'll remember him most is where he takes the cover off of his pod racer, and that kid that's like, "You have a pod racer, Annie?" And he just, "Yeah, I've been working on it in my free time." And then there's a little like Greedo looking kid, and then there's the other kid.
It is Greedo.
There's another girl with braids,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and they all run away, but Kitzer stays.
Yeah,
That's why
Okay.
Kitzer's a real
Yep.
homie.
yeah.
Okay.
He's like, "You're an
his
idiot." but
true
also-
friend, his one friend.
Is that
And
really
Kitzer's the
Greedo?
one.
Yeah.
No, it's
It's-
I don't.
It's
it's
really
not
Greedo.
confirmed.
It's
It's
Greedo.
not actually Greedo or anything, but
It's not confirmed.
It's not.
no.
Fuck.
But
I read
it's a Greedo-esque character.
I'm gonna Google it.
But
Continue. Sorry,
please do, because if that was actually Greedo, I would love. I
Dude,
would
that'd be
love
so
that
much
game.
cooler.
I think it is because they're like, oh, Greedo, blah blah something. I remember that.
I think they say Greedo. Hold on.
Yeah, they
Let me-
do.
I'm looking it up.
okay, but
Like,
go ahead.
you're
Take the
watching
reins.
someone
One
Really?
Greedo.
Take the reins. Let's hear your opinion on that. What do you think he did? Pod racer or become a drug dealer?
he becomes a pod racer, and then he becomes a good hero and a good guy. He becomes wealthy, you know, good life. Don't want any more bad guys. I'm going for a good ending.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
We have a mass murderer. Then we have
I'm gonna give you the
really
real ending. He
fucking-
got hooked on dead sticks, and he started a
He's-
band that played in
He's the
Jabba's
Death Sticks
palace.
guy. That's
and-
him. He's the Death Sticks guy.
he grew up to be Dead Sticks.
Oh my god.
He's like, I recognize you from somewhere.
Okay.
You want some death sticks? Just trying to be friendly.
No, go away. Go away.
Oh, okay. Here goes. Not to sidetrack off the question, but in 1999, Greedo made a cameo appearance in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in a deleted scene where he accuses Anakin Skywalker of cheating in the Boonta Eve Classic, leading Qui-Gon Jinn to separate them. So he was in there, and I'm not 100% sure if that is the kid who runs up with him, like when they're doing the pod, but there is a
I think it's
deleted scene.
confirmed that the kid is not Greedo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's something I did not know. That's awesome.
Because if he ran up to him, and that was a deleted scene, he ran up to him and was like, hey, motherfucker, you cheated. And Anakin's like, prove it, bitch. You know, and they're like, whoa, okay, guys.
Hey.
You guys are
You're
just
a full-grown adult alien picking on a little kid. Step back.
I will punch down. I don't care.
I will hit a child. I'm not above it.
Did we have a second question?
But we need to hear Victor's point. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
what do you
sorry,
think? What do you think he did?
Oh, I think he got in the crime syndicates with Darth Maul post Clone Wars. There's this whole conspiracy theory where there's just one character in the Clone Wars who looks vaguely like Kitster, who is running one of the crime syndicates. And I have to say, I have to say that must be him, because he saw his best friend leave and become a Jedi, and he was so agitated by it he had to, one up him and make that dough for one thing, and become one
get that
with
clout.
his arch enemy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Become one with his arch enemy, Darth Maul, who, as we all know, became the crime lord
Yeah.
of the syndicates.
Because I gotta agree, because like there was definitely a scene where he was like, if we ever had the ability to write Star Wars, this is what I would do. Kitster's like a teenager, and he's laying in the back of a fucking like cantina, and he's there, and he's just like, free bird, yeah, and he's like, I gotta get out of here.
I gotta get the hell out of Tatooine, man. I've seen way too many quarterbacks on our high school team. Like,
meanwhile, the fucking lead solo from Freebirds.
Yeah.
And he's just like stumbling to his fucking speeder, and he hops in and just hauls ass. Going like
he's snorting spice and jacking spice, and he's smoking spice as much as he can. So
yeah,
And
dude.
eating Death Sticks.
That's exactly what happened. That's fucking
All the
fat.
blue milk that poor boy could drink.
oh, don't get me started on the blue milk.
Dude, I get the whole gross factor, just this show he gave up, but we'll get there. I'm excited to get there because I have my own opinion.
Okay,
about that. But
what was the second question?
was there a second question? Hold on.
There was another question.
Spark
I
asked.
fucked up and closed my phone and lost all the chat.
Same.
Spark said, "Did you guys get a chance to read the log line? I was curious what you guys thought about it. Sorry if it's a weird question. It's not a weird question. We haven't had a chance. I mean, I haven't had a chance to read it. I've been way too engaged in making jokes about
What is
Star
the
Wars.
log line?
About I think
the
Spark,
basic idea of the story.
the what?
I the basic idea of the story.
Oh,
I read it.
Oh.
It was like, to me it seems complicated, but I can see the idea of it, and it seems amazing.
I'll definitely check it out after this. So
I'll have to do that as well.
yeah, but one of the other things is like, how many of the kids do you think end up actually? Because once you're a slave, you're kind of always a slave. You got to get bought out of slavery when it comes to Tatooine, or
Or
in
is it
general.
Space Jesus?
Probably no, yeah.
So how many of those kids do you
Saved
think?
by Space Jesus.
Yeah. I am not Space Jesus. Oh, he anointed me. Thank you. And may the force is that you think like may the force be with you? Is that like, I mean we all know what it means, but do you think in that realm, do you think that means like
No,
like what do
no,
you
because
think?
in the
Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but in the Mandalorian, you hear the New Republic X-wing pilots signal to Mando Din and be like, "May the Force be with you," and he says, "May the Force be with you." You know,
Okay.
and it's kind of like a greeting. It's not really like a, from what I perceived, it's not like a very like religious thing or anything.
Okay.
It's
Is
more
it
of
is
like
it more like is it more of like good luck or like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
save?
Yeah, good luck. May luck forever be in your favor or some
Okay.
bullshit.
I feel like it's more of like if you say like for me, sometimes I'll say like the universe is out to get me rather than like God is out to get me. It's like more of a general thing.
Okay. Gotcha. That's what I figured it was. Because I mean, it's cool enough. It's like this is the way. You know.
Yeah.
This is the way.
This is the way.
But it's so cool that like even in that, may the force be with you, even like how you can see like how when they say it to other people, how either uncomfortable or welcoming they bring it, depending on what they believe, which is super fucking like in depth. Cause like I gotta say it, I've been fucking stewing on this shit forever. In episode 4, when Han Solo picked them up and they're on their ship, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's the Force." He's like, that hokey religion, I fucking haven't heard about that. It's like, bitch, you were like 15 in episode 1. Of course you heard of the fucking like Force and the Jedi councils. Like, of course you heard about all this stuff going on between the Jedi and the Mandalorian and like the whole Clone Wars and how the Jedi Council fought against them. Why are you acting like now because you're put on the spot that you're not like you don't know this shit, or are you just playing a character so they don't? You're like, I don't care, I'm just a drug smuggler. But in reality, you're like, oh, I know a lot about that because it was very pivotal throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, because
That's a good point that he. Oh, you go on, Ligma.
No, I mean, not too much into it. I was just gonna try to give the thought of, well, maybe wherever he was while all that was happening, it wasn't right in front of his face, so he only heard rumors and talkings of it, and it didn't really seem like something that was too real. Oh, there's these people with these laser swords who can lift things with their minds, and they're out fighting, and then he hears, well, all the Jedi are gone. And he's just like, well, fuck, were they even really there? You know, because maybe he didn't see one firsthand, you know? So he's like, well, I heard about that shit and I've never seen it with my own 2 eyes. So that's a crock if you ask me. Yeah. Or he could just be playing the character of, yeah, whatever. It's lightsabers, hokey religions, no, doesn't hold a candle to the fucking blaster I got here, you know?
Yeah. No, that's so true. And like, for one thing, we don't know where he was at that point in the universe, and we don't know what he was doing. And as much as they make it a smaller universe in Star Wars with, you know, like characters meet each other on a regular basis, we also haven't seen Han Solo until Solo.
Yeah.
You know, a Star Wars story. But also, you know, you see people denying a lot of things in our own world. So, you don't know.
Yeah,
until they actually see it. You know, you see people denying like pandemics all the time. I don't know.
Yeah,
not to
make a correlation. But I agree. I mean, because like to me, I get both sides. Because if he's let's say he's like on the denier side, like I get that, right? Because I mean, like I watched this documentary recently where they interviewed a bunch of people from Vietnam. And one guy made a good point, and this is kind of fits into the same story. He was like, we were out sweeping this minefield, and we found this shaft that led down to this fucking arm facility, if you will. It was just a stockpile of guns and ammo, so we blew it up. So somehow this little act that we did got into the fucking Stars and Stripes newspaper and said that we set the Viet Cong back 5 months. And it's like, bitch, no, we didn't. The next day, they stormed our fucking camp and killed half of us. Like, we didn't set them back at all. What are you talking about? So, like, with the Jedi being like, oh, the Jedi are dead, and look at the Separatists, they came forward. You know, it's shit like that. It's like, okay, well, what's real? Because the media's telling me this, but I know for a fact that this happened. So it's like, what is real, what is
Fake
not.
news, bro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fake news. So I mean, I think that's kind of cool because it builds into it. But at the same time, it's like, I guess the way that he perceived himself was like kind of irritating because it's like, dude, you had to have heard of him, dude. You even a small fucking inkling, like, other than that weird ancient religion. This
But,
guy,
Solo, does it not take place like right at A New Hope?
Oh yeah, no, it
No, it's
it's in between 3 and 4, right?
Yeah, because
yeah,
in,
but
in
so
Revenge
Rogue
of the
One
Sith,
is obviously leading right up to A New Hope.
yeah.
And
Right.
Solo is about like I think 6 or 7 years before A New Hope.
Okay, because in Revenge of the Sith, you see the Millennium Falcon landing at the Senate building when Palpatine comes back when they
You
rescue
do.
him.
Yeah, we do. But at that
So-
time, it was not owned by Han Solo.
Oh, okay, damn.
That was still
Well,
Lando's.
shit.
Maybe.
Or-
Probably not even.
Yeah, because it didn't like, from what we know, it might not have been because they didn't have like the escape hatch and all that stuff that Lando added on there.
But guys, it's 4 a.m. My dad has surgery in an hour, so I kind of need to go and say goodbye to him.
Okay.
So
Oh, you're
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So what?
Thank you again, Josh, for hanging out and talking with us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
because
thank
I
you
could
so
be
much.
here. Thank you. It's
Absolutely.
just it's 4 in the morning. I'm tired. He leaves in like 1 hour.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Well,
Yes.
Go ahead and take
I
care
hope
of
the
that.
surgery and everything goes all right.
Me too.
Oh, it's nothing dangerous. It's just because I don't know what it's called in English, but like he's old and then something goes up and he loses too much weight, so he has to get surgery. Total sidetrack. I'm sorry.
No,
No
you're fine.
surgery, like in his throat thing. So like they'd say remove it, then he doesn't get allergic reactions for his medicines and stuff. So like he's gonna be mute for the rest of his life. So
Oh my gosh.
fun. Yeah. So I'm kind of gonna go get some sleep, say goodbye.
Okay, dope.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get some sleep.
Well, again, if you want to
Thank you.
ever come back on any of these other Star Wars ones, please feel free to join
Oh, when is next time?
us next month sometime.
Yeah.
We haven't
yeah.
set a day yet, but we're gonna do this once a month.
We'll probably
'cause
shoot. Go ahead.
I'm home the entire next month because of COVID. So like, hit me up.
We'll do.
Will
Well,
do.
Thank you, because I could be here. It's so nice to see you guys. Take care, all that stuff.
You as well.
See you.
Bye.
May the force be
Peace,
with
Josh.
you.
May
This
the
is
force
the
be
way.
with you.
Good enough.
So, all right, I'm gonna fix some stuff. Let me get rid of some overlays here. But all right, somebody
Oh, I
go
see
ahead and
that.
start.
Dude, I
talking
love
about
I love
other
the
stuff.
background. I was gonna say.
Go
I
ahead.
see on the old chat on the actual stream. It looks awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out these two things that I have noticed watching episode 1. This is twice now. I've had to restart it, and it's playing in the background here. One, this growing up, Natalie Portman, who
Oh,
plays Padme Amidala, and her double. You know that's Keira Knightley,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
That I got, dude, as a child watching Pirates of the Caribbean, I could swear up and down to you that was Padme. And I think it's because of this fucking movie. It screwed me up. Like, because it's, you can tell a little bit, but when they have that makeup and stuff caked on and they're modulating her voice just a little bit, it's tough to tell. So growing up, like when I would watch Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever, I was like, "There's Padme, Dad." He's like, "It's not fucking Padme."
Yeah, no, I'm right
Bullshit.
there with you. That blew my mind. Cause like
Yeah,
Keira
dude.
Knightley was like way older.
Mhm.
He was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mhm.
And then he had
Yeah.
Natalie Portman being like younger and everything in Phantom Menace, and that's where I was introduced to her, and that's how I knew both of them. And
Now, see, my
Yeah,
experience is a little different.
It blew. Okay, give it
So,
to me.
I remember seeing Natalie Portman in The Professional, and she played this like, I don't know if you guys seen The Professional. Am I the only fucking human being that's seen that movie?
probably.
Okay. Professional is this. There's this guy. He's a professional hitman. Like he is he's Agent 47, if you will.
Is that the
right?
Russian dude? Is that the Russian dude from Godzilla?
Yes. I think we're talking
Okay.
about the same person. So he ends up he's going home, and he sees this little girl, Natalie Portman, sitting in the hallway at this apartment complex. She's all fucked up. Her dad's a drunk, whatever. He just looks at her and was like, yeah, not my fucking bag, not my problem. And then all of a sudden, a knock at the door, and he opens it, and it's her. She's like, are you just going to walk by me? You're not going to help? What kind of a shitty human being are you? He does, you're not my fucking problem. And she's like, what is that? And she sees he's at a suitcase. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, right? No big deal. Story plays out. Come to find out, she starts being obsessed with him. Starts knowing that he's this fucking... Something's off about him. He finally confesses, hey, I'm a hitman. I kill people for a living, you know? So he starts training her to be a hitman. And she's actually pretty good. So he's like, use your anger. You know? So he starts... so that's how
I love that rhetoric.
Yeah, so I saw... like this movie growing up, and the bad guy in it, I can't remember his name, plays one of the best fucking crazy asshole roles you'll ever see.
Palpatine.
But it's basically him on
He's the
a little,
Palpatine.
little bit on
Is it what is it? The dude who plays Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman's?
yes,
That dude.
yeah, dude, yeah.
Okay.
he's the
See,
bad guy.
I know of this movie.
Mhm.
I've never watched it. I follow
So
like
good.
a bunch of cinema pages on Instagram, and I've seen that in there a few times.
Worth watching. So that's
I
how
haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
that's how I saw it. So then episode 1 starts popping off, and I'm like, she's gonna fucking kill somebody with a sniper rifle. That's exactly what's gonna fucking happen.
She did. She went on to do things like that in the
Yeah.
Clone Wars, which I loved that they really fleshed out her character. You know,
Hell yeah.
I mean, just
But
the whole part of the Clone Wars, you know, kind of filling in the gaps for a lot of the characters. It wasn't just a story about the Skywalkers and Obi-Wan and anything like that.
Mhm.
Dude, you made connections with like the clone troopers. Like,
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love that shit.
mm-hmm.
And
Gary Oldman, that's the name.
Yeah,
Thank
Gary
you,
Oldman.
Cricket.
And yes, you make a lot of connections of, you know, the characters that you don't see in the movies, but you also make a huge connection with Anakin, who a lot of people fucking hated in episode, 2 and 3. And then
Breaks
in
my
Clone
heart.
Wars-
Breaks my heart, dude.
I know, but in the Clone Wars, like, you see him really develop, and you see him as such a dynamic character, and you go through his whole, like, every single arc that he goes through.
Mm-hmm. Dude, so fucking true. Because that's the thing. That's what makes it so good is, like, I think Obi-Wan's character in episode 1 was like, if I can throw a joke in there, I'm going to throw a joke. You know? Because that's
Negotiations,
Obi-Wan.
well, short.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck you. You know?
Yes, he was a good youthful Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was exactly what we needed from, like, a episode 1. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
he was a good looking motherfucker. Like, he was good with his lightsaber. He cut Darth Maul in half. He was like, fuck it, I'll train this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
he was cool. He was sharp, and that's exactly what we needed. And
Mhm.
then 2 and 3.
Oh, no.
So- So, do you think? Again, you talked about the cutting Darth Maul in half. Do you think that he channeled his anger? I mean, dude, he was swinging for the fences during
Fuck
that
yes,
fight.
he did.
Yeah.
And I was gonna bring it up earlier when we were bringing up his dark side tendencies or giving into his
Yeah.
emotions or anything. I was actually thinking about this, but one of you were talking about something that I didn't want to interrupt because it was beautiful, and I was, and I didn't. I was like, motherfucker, like, this guy was going on a rant when he wanted to, like, as soon as that screen closed and he could go at Darth Maul. Yeah,
Dude, he's sitting there, he's stewing, dude. He's like,
He
you
was
see
like-
that
he's like-
pissed off look in his face.
He's like, I'm a
He's
motherfucking
twirling that lightsaber like,
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm a
yeah,
fucking
Hit my
kill
theme
you.
music, bitch.
yeah. He was playing some
Bum,
like
bum.
1998 Eminem right there, and he was going at it.
Yeah.
So he was ready for it.
Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. Just a bunch of gibberish. Motherfuckers think
Yes.
they forgot about Obi.
I'm glad we're on the same page there. Yeah.
How cool it would have been. I mean, being I guess like an anime fan, I talk about Dragon Ball Z all the time. How cool would it have been if they were fighting, and Darth Maul popped him in the face. He takes it and does. Now you're gonna die, and then it just went into it. 'Cause that
See,
was
the thing is, he kind of did that as soon as Darth Maul looked through the screen, and like right after he stabbed Qui-Gon through the chest, Obi-Wan was like, "Now you're gonna die."
yeah.
That
Dude,
was
yeah.
that moment.
Like,
And as soon as it closed, he was like, choo, 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 choo. And he jumped for his lightsaber, dude. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the movie as soon
what
as this
what a
podcast.
great
Same.
what a great choreographed fight though between
Oh,
those
I
two. Like
know.
again,
Yeah, I mean,
that fight and the fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin, I think are the most beautifully choreographed fights because again, they are fucking
Yes.
they get swinging for the fences. Both of those fights, you know,
Yeah.
and when they're
I couldn't agree
practicing
more.
that, you know, they're
Mhm.
they're nicking each other, they're cracking themselves with it, and
Yeah.
when they're doing it, they're doing the flips. You know, again, what's his name? Ray Park, who played Darth Maul. Dude, he
yes,
is
sir.
all over the place, doing like his own stunts and kills it.
Have you
Kills it.
seen?
I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say, when you get someone like Ray Park, who is a martial arts professional,
Mm-hmm.
and someone like Hugh McGregor, who is a acting professional, who will do whatever he needs to do the part, you get that lethal combination in the same room. You're gonna get. I mean, obviously, Ewan had a double as well, but you get those two people in the same room, you're gonna get a phenomenal.
Oh
Acting.
yeah.
I
Performance.
mean, it was. I mean, like, especially with Ray Park, and they brought him back for the Clone Wars this last season.
Yep.
Replicate his moves because it's just like
His movements,
It goes
dude.
to show.
I saw that. See, I haven't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I haven't watched any of the new season of Clone Wars, and again, I
Yeah.
only think I'm on season 5 of the Clone Wars. Haven't watched anything past, but the internet is a
Yeah.
motherfucker and has spoiled a lot of things for me. But a lot I still haven't seen. But I did see that they actually did like a mocap on him to get his moves and shit, and I was like, they brought him back. That is so sick.
There's a lot of fan-made films that they got him to reprise his role as Darth Maul. There's one I talked about earlier where he fights his brother on their home planet and kills him, and then Emperor Palpatine's ship comes in and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna train you now," and then the doors open up and he gets on and they fly off because it was like a trial that Palpatine put him through. But
Is that the video you sent me?
I think that's one of them. No, the video I sent you was fucking amazing. So there's a video. I'll send it to you.
You gotta
Victor,
send that to
after.
Victor.
So
Victor.
it starts out of Darth Maul fucking around with a computer, and he's got a bunch of different screens of different Jedis fighting, and he's just watching their fighting style to learn it. And then Palpatine's like, "You have Jedi on your way. You need to kill him because if they find this base, that's bad for us. So you need to kill him." And then he's like, "God damn it!" And he goes out, and let's just say there's more than 4 that he has to fight one
Dude,
on.
but it is
dude, it's amazing.
it's a fan film that is beautiful. It is
So fucking good.
super cool, dude. And it gets a little brutal. Like I wasn't expecting that. That again, when you have everything you have in the Star Wars universe,
Mhm.
we're really getting the watered down aspects of it. I mean,
are.
it's not as dark as it could be. It's made for kids,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
there's
even
the dark
seeing,
side to it.
yeah, even seeing Kylo in the Last Jedi in the throne room do the whole like ignite and then go through someone's head and then pull the lightsaber back, like that's something I've thought. I was like, that was a crazy move that they could have done years ago.
Oh, I know.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
Dude.
That's pretty dark,
dark.
dude. And again, that's the thing. We'll talk about it when we get to it, but I don't give The Last Jedi as much grief as everybody else does. Yeah, there were a few things I did not like with The Last Jedi,
Mhm.
but it was a
Yeah.
movie that you when these things are coming out, you kind of have an idea of where you think this story is going to go. When I saw The
Yeah.
Last Jedi, I went into it, thinking, well, where that left off, we're probably going to get this. Oh, she's going to meet Luke, and they're going to train and do all of this, which
Yeah.
you get that, but not the way you think. So that movie took a lot of left turns and things that I wasn't expecting. So I got to see something that was fresh for me. You know, I didn't call all these things that were going to happen. Because I mean, if you're really given what you want, was it worth it? Was it good? You know, I will shit all over the fact that Princess Leia is not Mary Poppins and she shouldn't be able to fly through space. But it is what it is.
You and me both, man.
Dude.
I will have all my shit on that movie and a lot of good things on that movie if you guys will have me back.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
But,
I would love to, man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
But that is for another time. But I have many amazing things to say about the movie. Many bad things to say about the movie as well.
I'll just say the most redeeming thing is two parts. That the cinema had to be like, warning, our system and our sound did not shut off. There's a part in the movie that is meant to be quiet. Heads up. Which is, think about
And let me tell you,
dude, so
that is
fucking
one of my
good.
favorite parts of Star Wars.
Dude, so fucking
Dude, it was
good.
amazing. Because again, it does give you that realistic thing. Space is a vacuum. There's no fucking sound, and all of a sudden it's just light and then nothing. You hear nothing. You just see the fucking chaos, and it's just
And
like,
then it, like,
holy shit.
Like the lowest version of, like, if you saw it in IMAX or anything, it's like you're being like lifted off the ground, off the base right there.
Dude, it's so cool because it's
so
like
fucking
shing
good.
sound, and you're like, oh, I felt that, but
Jesus.
but
Jinkies.
but as people know how much of a fan I am. My youngest is named Leia, and yes, after the princess, and yes, I wish we could name her middle name Carrie because that would have been cool. But no, I didn't get any say in that. But I am so fucking excited to set my kids down and be like, all right, guys, you're old enough to know and think and process. We're gonna watch them all the way through, all of them.
So you're gonna
Yep.
you're gonna sit her down during the Last Jedi and be like, "See that motherfucker flying through space?
Mm-hmm.
You're after her."
That's you, baby.
Yes.
That's you, baby girl.
So whenever you have a son, you have to name him Ben. Just you have to. And she's like, "Fuck, okay,
Nah,
Benny.
dude, I'm going full Qui-Gon.
dude." I have seen
He's getting
Oh
bullied
my God.
all day.
dude, that'd be
Jin.
fucking cool.
Just name him Jin.
Dude,
Actually, I've always had the idea of having two sons, and one of them being Harrison, and the other one being Ford.
oh
First-
yeah,
Oh my God.
that'd be
Yes.
fucking sweet.
That's
God,
up to God, though, or the universe, or whatever.
Dude, that'd
No,
be-
it's actually up to the man. I found that out because we were trying to have a girl for the longest time, and I am blamed because now my wife is expecting our second boy, and my mother-in-law is like, you're the one who controls what you have. I'm like, I can't go down there and like sort through my stuff and be like, you're the one. That's the one I was looking for.
You don't know there's a little flip you can switch?
yeah, dude, you don't have that. You need to update.
Where?
Dude, you
I
gotta
gotta
plug.
update
Right
my
below the-
software.
You gotta push your belly button in, right, and then you have to say out loud like commands. It's like Surrey. You just have to be like, "I'm having kids." That's it. You didn't know that? Fucking idiot.
So
That's why this guy has
So-
two kids named Zelda and Leia.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. Because, dude, I'm a
you just get to
fucking.
pick and choose, you son of a bitch.
Hey, man. It's funny because it's like there's this old like wives' tale. It's like however you live your life, whatever karma will come back in your kids. So I must have fucked over so many females. So I'm just gonna have nothing but females the rest of my life, which is fine because I love having my girls. They're they know I am wrapped around their finger and everybody knows it. Daddy, I want this. Nah, I'm not gonna give you that. Nah, no, you get it yourself. Here you go, kid. It's
Yeah.
fine. but,
Yeah.
but it's crazy.
So
Go ahead. What were you
another.
saying?
I was just gonna. I'm watching the movie again, and Ewan McGregor just shows up, and I had on DVD. It was like the 2-disc Star Wars, so you got like the movie and then the special features.
Mhm.
And I did not know this, but Ewan McGregor really had like a super duper long hair space mullet before the movie, and that hair braid was his entire head. Like they just shaved it all off and left that one little piece. He actually
did
had
not know
hair
that.
long.
Huh.
Look
Did
that
he have
up.
it from
It is
another movie?
disturbing.
Was it?
I don't know.
Or is this
I
him
don't.
rocking
I don't know
that
if he was
shit?
just like, no, fuck it, dude. I'm growing it out. I'm gonna grow that shit out.
Good for him.
Another thing.
That's cool. I did not know that. That's really cool.
Have you seen his newest
Yeah.
documentary?
Seriously, look that shit up.
Have you guys seen?
Him riding electric bikes from the southernmost point of South America to where is it?
I think he's going back home in England, right? I think
You
that's.
can't drive there from South America.
I can't because he was gonna fly. There's
Can't
this.
do it. Don't
Just use the force. but,
don't shrug at me.
but I can't remember where he's going. There's like an end goal because there's a scene where he was like, he this is where I'm going with this. You'll pick up where I'm going with this. There's a scene where he was like, yeah, so I went to this market, you know, when we were buying the bikes, and I bought this guitar. He's like, how the fuck am I gonna put this on the plane? They won't let me. He's like, so I'm just gonna take it on the bike. Here, let me play something. And he fucking plays a song by the Muse, and his voice is fucking amazing.
Okay.
He has,
I'm not surprised. Have you seen Moulin Rouge?
dude, exactly.
Oh,
Dude, yes.
Dude, exactly.
Did-
Just, I mean, I'm not, you know, take me now.
oh, yeah.
Dude, he's such an amazing human
Again,
being.
just I was gonna say, he just seems like the coolest, most down to earth person, and the fact that he's getting his own show, and he was so stoked about it.
oh my god!
I love seeing actors who love picking up the mantle of a character again that they really enjoyed. You know,
And it was
And
as if
so,
it like. I'm sorry. Keep going.
no, you're good. You're good.
I was gonna say like every interview I've seen with him is like such a relief for him to say that he's gonna be Obi-Wan again. He's like, yes, I'm gonna be Obi-Wan again. Oh my god, I'm so excited to be like, you know, he's so excited to be back into Star Wars and like he's so proud, and he understands that it's not his character, it's Alec Guinness's character, and
Guinness, yeah.
and he always talks about like Alec Guinness and like how he has watched his tapes and like tries to be like him, and he's watched like his younger footage and like everything like that. And I mean it's amazing to see, and like, you know, for guys like us, like we grew up watching 1, 2, and 3, and he's more or less our Obi-Wan, but to see him like, pay homage to Alec Guinness and be such a homie in that way, and
I'm
really
excited
connect
to see
it.
I want to see how he transitions from episode 3 into episode 4 Obi, where he's just like, oh,
He's been practicing this whole
me.
time, dude.
Dude,
But no, that's it. He's been waiting on this in his off time. How many years has it been since 3? You know.
Oh, shit.
That was
came out in,
2005,
like,
so
Yeah.
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
He's been waiting in the wings for this moment, you know. And I mean, he's getting Hayden back, which is super cool. Like we talked about earlier, people shit all over his performance of Anakin. I personally loved it. Again, it's a kid. Even then, he's, you know, from a 9-year-old to a 19, 20-year-old to a 23-year-old. It's still a child in there, you know, and he has these emotions, and he doesn't know exactly how to put those out there because he's been taught to not have any feelings or any emotions. You can't rely on that. That's the path to the dark side. And so, again, you see that conflict in the character that Hayden is playing, and I think he did a damn good job of it. And now we get him back in this Obi-Wan series. I am so stoked about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Duff.
I was gonna say one of my favorite things about like Hayden Christensen's character was knowing that Obi-Wan was the one that's been training him, right? So his brother, right, his older brother. I mean, it must be hard being brothers, but Forrest Gump reference, fucking nailed it.
I know. I got it.
But one of the big things is like him having a brother. If you have like a big older brother, you kind of mimic him a little bit. You know, you try to like pick up some of the quips because that's someone close to your age bracket that is cool or not cool depending on your scenario. But I think Hayden Christensen kind of nailed that like comedy aspect of like, you know, that Ewan McGregor kind of built as an Obi-Wan. So he's like, he's like, oh, I fucking hate flying. He's like, yeah, I know you do, master, bitch. It's just like,
Yeah, no, I do.
so it's
Flying is for droids.
yeah, so it's just like him making fun. Like Obi-Wan will say a joke, and then Anakin will come by and just like knock another joke on it, and it just kind of like doles out Obi's joke.
Oh.
It's just always like, God, damn it.
Excellent moment was episode 2, the speeder chase when Obi-Wan jumps out the window, he's hanging on, and Anakin has to run down and get a speeder. He's like, took you long enough. He says, oh, master, I had to pick out a good speeder I liked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's so good. But we got a channel point thing that says dehydrate. So the dehydrate thing, everybody, okay, just so you guys know, on Twitch, everybody has a hydrate where you just drink water. Well, we don't drink water because we're Americans and we're men. Don't drink water. We ain't fish. So dehydrate, I'm just going to drink what I got in here. So
Do we drink anything other
I'm going to
than
drink what I have.
anything
dehydrate?
that's not water. Anything that's not water. All right.
I have a beer here. So.
Yeah.
There we go.
Preaching.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Well, what I'm drinking.
Shotgun that beer is what they said. You got to shotgun that beer, Victor.
This one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Throw it down.
I can get another one in shotgun, but this
Punch
one's
a
already
hole
up.
in it.
Just go ahead, man. Finish it. You gotta finish it.
I can chug it. So
You're like, I just opened.
Do it. Chug, 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 chug. It's so cold. Once it hits your lips. Atta boy, champion.
I gotta
Everybody,
take some.
round of
It's so
applause. That
fucking
was
hot
good.
now.
Dude, it is too. Like, I have this fucking robe on and I've been sweating.
I
Like,
know.
it's
I'm
awful.
wearing gray, dude.
I like the robe
I gotta
though,
stay in
man.
character.
I love the robe.
Thank you.
You can take it
Dude,
off.
okay, so funny story with this. It was an Instagram buy. It was in the old news feed and was like, hey, we have these Jedi robes. I was like, bitch, okay. Looked it up. And it was like $30. I was like, yo, I just got paid.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll do it. And so I ordered it, and I'm waiting on the confirmation email. Well, I get the confirmation email. Hey, we got your order. It's been placed. We'll update you with tracking info once it ships. A month goes by, and I haven't got anything. I go to the website. It's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I got fucking robbed. That's awesome. Got scammed. Never do another one of those again.
Never buying a
about
robe
2 weeks
again.
After that, yeah, about 2 weeks after, I was actually looking them up. I was like, I'm gonna buy another one. I'm gonna make sure it's legit. I'm gonna get it off of Amazon. And about 2 weeks after that first instance, I came home from work one day, and my wife was like, "You have a package?" And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Open it up. Shaboom! I was like, "No way! It was real."
That's my Jedi robe.
Dude, the same
Dude,
thing
it
happened
was
to me.
so stoked.
Dude, the same thing happened to me. I actually sent it to Victor. They had face masks, like face covers, that were like the bottom of like Boba Fett's helmet or Mando's helmet, or had
I
Darth
remember
Maul's
that.
face.
Oh, you
and
sent me
shit.
that link, you son of a bitch.
Dude, so I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna buy both of them. I'm gonna buy Boba because I fucking love Boba Fett, and I'm gonna buy Mando's. And then all of a sudden, I got, hey, your card has been accepted. It's in the mail. And I was like, okay. And then like 3 fucking weeks later, oh, we're making it now. I was like, you're making it now? What the fuck does that mean?
No.
And then it was like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden the tracking thing never worked. It says updating. Every time I click on it, updating. And I'm like, what do you mean you're updating my tracking? And then I was like, fuck it, forget about it. I went ahead and bought other masks and shit. And then I opened the mail, and both of them were there. And it was like, sorry for the delay. I was like, bitch, I work in sales, and I use that shit when I'm fucking late. Don't fucking play with me.
Just being lazy. Shit, we gotta send that dude his mask.
But
We'll do it tomorrow.
But dude, they're quality, dude. I've washed them and everything.
Probably down with COVID now.
Dude, but it's cool because they like lock here. I went to Walmart and I pulled up the Boba Fett one, and I had my hat on, I had shades on, and I just walk in. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna rob this place. Give me all your spice. And it's like, but I'm not gonna do that. They're gonna be like, the cinnamon's
This
down
is the
aisle
way.
5, bitch.
This is not the way.
But it's just crazy, dude. Because I've done the same thing, and I guess buyers beware, as we're gonna talk about that. So one of the big things, guys, whoever is watching now, I'm gonna see if it still is gonna be in chat,
Hold
and
up.
it's not. God
Let's
damn.
rewind this.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay, real quick. Watching the pod racing scene. At the beginning of the pod race, Sebulba walks by Anakin's pod and like messes with something,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So that fucks him up later in the race.
Yeah.
And in this scene, I'll give you the timestamp at 1 hour 4 minutes 43 seconds. He's going down. The piece flies off, and there's like this hose, and it's just kind of flapping there. And he's lost power to like one of the engines. Okay, and he's got this stick. He sticks out, and he's using that to grab the floppy do. And all of a sudden, it's sitting there floating, and then it just whoop, comes into that piece that he had. Was that a magnet, or did he just use a force pull?
I have a good answer for that. So originally, Sebulba messes with his pod racer, and he has difficulty starting his engines, yada yada yada. We all know the story. If you're watching this podcast, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then eventually Anakin fixes that. And then when he has this little stick, I think that's the equivalent of, it's like the Kmart version of having an R2 on your X-Wing.
Okay.
It's fixed.
Okay.
It's it's doing the job and fixing the little maintenance issues that are going on while you're on your race. That's my opinion.
See, yeah, I gotta agree because like first I dropped the merch link in the description in the chat, so guys check out the merch.
Shameless plug. Hey, that's a good point, Victor. I'm gonna counter that with we have merch.
Because
I'm glad I'm on the show, man.
So let me just show. I bought myself a zip-up hoodie. On the front is the cake, and then on the back is our logo. Let me see if I can get it stretched out here. Our logo. So just throwing that out there. Buy some merch, please, God. I have to feed my kids. Please buy merch.
We have shirts, hoodies. We have these sweet coffee mugs that have my face, Dilf's face on them as well. On the other side, you get the funfetti.
Fill up on.
I'm gonna buy your face, not Dilf's.
There. We have.
yeah, you can look at me
Dude,
anytime,
so
buddy.
sweet. I just want something with your face on it.
But
I think we have masks and stickers too.
We have
so
masks,
if
we have
you enjoy the
stickers.
podcast,
I was gonna try and make
if you
a
enjoy
sexual
what we
joke,
do,
so now I have to
Go
make a
for it.
Victor face mug.
But again, guys, everybody in chat, everybody who stopped by tonight, we do appreciate you. Again, as if you've tuned in before, you know that Star Wars is very near and dear to our hearts. We just wanted to take a whole episode to discuss it, and this is going to be something that we do for the next few months, just so we can actually talk about other things, and we can just kind of segue our Star Wars talk into these things once a month. And again, while I'm thanking everybody, thank you, Victor, for joining in, dude. It's been awesome meeting and getting to talk with you and talking with another fan, and you seem like a cool dude. I would drink a beer with you if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on here and talk some wars.
Yeah, dude.
Do you guys ever want me back on for Attack of Clones or
Yes.
or any of the other? Let me know.
Absolutely.
New Hope, Empire, Return of the Jedi.
Do not
any
Solo,
Star Wars.
Rogue
Actually.
One, Clone Wars, fucking Rebels,
But then you're like,
Mandalorian.
if you fucking ask me to be on for that fucking Christmas special, you can go fuck yourself, okay?
Actually, I'll host the show by myself.
Well, let's do that. Let's let him just run the podcast by himself that episode.
the Christmas special? Okay.
Oh my god.
But
If you guys want to do that, I will do that.
by the time that
we'll
get,
make
I have
cameo
enough
appearance
content
with
in the
blonde
back of my
hair.
head ready to go.
But the thing is by the time we get there, we'll probably be at Christmas. Because Star Wars is fucking long. So
Well, again,
Do one
if we're
every
doing
2
it once
weeks
a
and then we
month,
got
we're
it.
Gonna hit I was gonna say if you do one a month, there are 9 movies, and then that's the 9 whatever. Then you have
Rogue
Solo,
One.
and then Rogue One, and then you have the Clone Wars and Rebels. So by the time we get there, it will be
And Resistance, man. Don't forget about
Okay.
Resistance.
yeah.
Resistance. Yeah,
And then what about the Clone Wars animated series? Like the one that was
that's
actually
that's what I was
drawn-
talking about. Yeah,
I was talking about not the CGI one,
Oh,
the
the
original
original
one.
one.
We should. Well,
OG.
you guys should do it like a.
No, dude, you're in this now.
Shameless
dude.
plug.
We should.
Bang. But no, honestly, yeah, you can come back anytime. Cause I mean, dude, like I said, like you and I have talked before massively about being Star Wars fucking fanatics. So, oh, by the way, okay, there we go, real quick. Then hold on, we got a channel point thing, rock paper scissors. So we gotta go.
Shit. Okay.
Okay, so, all right, me and Ligam will go. We'll go 2 out of 3, and then Victor, you take the winner. Okay.
All right.
So go ahead and call it. Ready?
All right. Are we going on shoot? Are we doing shoot?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll go on shoot. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fuck. Rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors, shoot.
All right. Come on, motherfucker.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I didn't go that time. I
Damn
didn't go
it.
that time.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Victor.
First
take
one.
it. We took
Got
too
the first
long.
one.
Go ahead. You take the Victor.
Ready?
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shit! Right off the bat. We got 2 out of 3 though. We got 2 out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. 1 and 1, baby. 1 and 1. Here we go for all the marbles. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh God!
There we go. It's your
Do
first
I
night.
win now?
Yes.
Supreme Leader Fulcrum.
That means you get to come on the next one.
Nice.
You won the spot.
Attack the clones. The best one to come on. Let's go.
Dude, here's the thing. That's another. Again, I know this is the episode 1 cast,
Mhm.
but that is another movie I feel like people just kind of shit on. And they look over it. Yeah, they're like 1 sucked, 2 wasn't great, 3
Mhm.
was meh. I'm like,
Yeah.
quit having hate for the prequels just because it wasn't what you wanted. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
like there's still good story in there.
Yeah.
I
There
do
is.
feel like
Yeah.
the second one, it had its moments.
By
It's a love
Azura,
story, dude. That's
Azura.
showing how Anakin he's developing into the Jedi that we will later see him become the Sith Lord. This is the introduction of the big milestone events for Luke. Again, he heard about the Clone Wars and things like that. We get to see the beginning
Hold on.
of the Clone Wars.
Thank you
Where
so
did
much.
these
Thank you so
clones
much,
come
Squanto
from?
Not, for subbing for 2 months. Thank you so much. Okay, continue. Lily.
Oh, thank you, Squant. Well, again, just like I hate when people crap all over the prequels. They're really good, man. If you sit
Oh, they
down
are.
and you just quit being an asshole about it, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can get up on my my little pedestal here and like say it was an impossible task for people who are OG fans to give them what they wanted and what they, somehow heard of the Jedi Council and what Anakin was and the father of Luke and all these things. It was an impossible task to deliver what they thought it was going to be.
Mhm.
But episode 1 delivered. We got the Duel of the Fates, which was like the most amazing lightsaber fight that we've ever seen in Star Wars. We got Liam Neeson being probably, Dilf, I know you agree with me,
Mhm.
favorite Star Wars character of all time.
Oh
And
yeah.
in for one movie, which most people say is the worst
One
movie.
movie.
We got Ewan McGregor and his debut of, the most iconic Star Wars character other than Darth Vader.
Mhm.
We got Pod Race, which was George Lucas's like love story to Star Wars because it was his American Graffiti carrying over to sci-fi.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then we got Darth Maul being the most badass motherfucker in the history of like evil geniuses and the
Mhm.
devil, reincarnated into a sci-fi character. Like that is what Star Wars is, and that's why this movie was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, 100%. I mean, there was a lot of like so many layers to unfold, and everyone just like it's kind of disheartening when people like, oh man, I don't like it because of this. Like, I'm the same way. Like, if I find a movie or something that there's like that one part that itches me, I'll have some grief with it. But it's honest, most people hate it because of Jar Jar. And it's like, okay,
It's not enough to ruin the whole movie, though. You know,
It's not.
like when you sit back and you're like, "Oh, I could watch it, Jar Jar," blah 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 blah. Like you're missing the point. Like
Yeah,
you're
and-
missing the entire story from one character who's probably got a total maybe 20 minutes of
Yeah.
full screen time. You know,
and I mean, his boss, I
I'm
can't
probably
remember.
wrong about that.
I can't remember who was the leader of the Gungans at that point. They see him all the time. I can't fucking remember his names. Boss Nass. Yeah, he's Mr.
Boss Nass,
Yeah, he's Mr.
yeah.
Krabs. He's Mr. Krabs. That's basically his character.
think you are smarter than me.
Yeah, it's like
Here's the thing, we're better than the Boomins?
Misa bad bombing. You know, it's
That
like,
was good.
It's,
That was
'cause
good.
It's weird because a lot of people have hate towards it because it's like you're stereotype, right? You're stereotyping, you know, Islanders, and it's like, well,
That's a point I wanted to bring up during this podcast as well.
yeah. Go ahead, we're on it.
Just the there were some like just accents on there with like the Trade Federation
Mm-hmm.
and with the Gungans and you know all that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sidetrack us at all, but that is something that has been brought up to me as a Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
That I wanted to notate here on the show.
Yeah, because a lot of people hate it, dude, and I get it, right? I get it. The bad people or the dumb people or whatever are portrayed in a certain aspect, right? I get it. It sucks, right? But let's all just fucking step over that big pile of shit and just be like, hey, the storyline is good, right? The fucking actors are good. If you change the Trade Federation to be like, oh no, what do you mean there is a Jedi inside the count? It doesn't, you know, it works, but it's hard, and I feel so bad because people look at these negativities that come with the movies, like Jar Jar and the accents and stuff like that, and it's like, look past it, man. Fucking just look past it. At least look at the fucking pod race, because that shit's awesome. Come
At
on.
least look at
Dude, it is-
like Darth Maul cutting some motherfuckers up.
Yeah, dude. Have him. How did he get off
He
that?
was about to run over a child, by the way, who he
Yeah.
didn't know was the chosen one at that point. He was about to run him down.
Yeah.
And then we have all these memes of him saying sorry to him when he's older. It's fucking hilarious.
Dude, and it's pure his hatred towards Kenobi, which just started a fucking water storm.
A meme war.
But-
Kenobi!
Dude, that is the best ones. Dude, even Star Wars Battlefront fucking nailed it with that emote. Nailed it.
Dude, so just diving into that in general, Sam Witwer is his name. He was the character model and voice of Star Killer for The Force Unleashed. He
Yes.
went on to do the voice of Maul for the Clone Wars, and I was like, dude, that is awesome. And then he actually had the input, I think, because he did the voice in Solo too, if I'm correct.
He was. Yeah. He was also the voice in Phantom
what's
Menace.
it?
Oh shit.
Okay, hold on. I think in Phantom Menace, have you ever seen the movie Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah.
Of course.
So Pete, the roommate who is a dickhead, right?
Yeah.
He is, when Maul has the talking line, when it's him and Palpatine on the balcony, he's like, at last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi, at last we'll have our revenge. That is that guy. That is Pete from Shaun of the
Oh,
Dead.
no way.
He is in the makeup. He is in the makeup, and he is the one doing the dialogue. That is his only part as Maul. If you go back and watch it, that is him. Everything else is Ray Park.
Huh.
No way.
Check it out, dude.
No, I know that.
It's worth a Google. It's worth a Google.
No, that's awesome. I thought it was Sam Witwer the whole time.
Holy shit.
In Ray Park.
Mhm.
Dude.
Dang. I learned
Yeah, dude.
something every fucking day. Dude, that's cool.
Was he just on set where they
I'm
filming
full of
Shaun of the
useless
Dead?
shit like this, bro. He's on the other lot over here. We just need an English accent real quick.
Dude,
Get over here, big guy.
Because we know, we like the Star Wars extended universe. We know that zombies exist in the Star Wars realm. You guys have read that story. How cool would it have been is if, like, during one of the scenes, even like the Duel of the Fates scene, when they're taking shots at the droids, if all of a sudden a bunch of fucking zombies steal it on, and they're like, now we got fucking zombies. It's just like, that would have been awesome, dude.
You thought it was bad enough right now?
Got red on
droids?
Yeah. That would have been the best.
You guys
okay, so again, thinking about before episode 1, when did the droids come into play? Like, when did the battle droids come into play? You know what I'm saying? The ones we actually see working for the Separatists, that are on the fight with the Gungans on Naboo. Like, when did those come into play? Because you obviously you had like protocol droids and astromech droids and things like that. But when was it that they were making like the super battle droids, the droidicas, all that shit? Like, I want to know when and where that came up, and like the Old Republic, you know?
I will say there is a canonized version of this answer with the High Republic, which is just like a new development with Lucas right now. I have not started that development right now, but so I don't really know. But there's all these right now that were just released within the last month. But to my knowledge, I don't know.
Well, I know, like, when they're coming back to Naboo, right? And they're flying in, and he says, "Oh shit, that's a droid command ship. I think they see us." Right? That's one of the ships that help command the droids. I guess my assumption is those droids were there, like the battle mech droids were there far beyond like the timeline of that. They've been in use for a long time. So, I mean, I don't know, like, I haven't read deep into it, but I would say for like years. It wasn't just built for the Clone Wars.
I just wish what you said was 100% true. Like, they're flying up to Naboo and the pilot's just like, oh shit.
Yeah. That would be so much better.
That's a droid command ship.
Because they speak. Because think about all the dialogue that they have. It's very like precise, right? It's very like articulate, right?
Well, what I liked about the new one was in 9, Poe says, you know, I'm not Leia, and Finn's like, that's for damn sure. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell fucking swear in here. That's for damn sure. Hell yeah.
My thing is like, if they ever make a remake, like I mean, we might not see it in our lifetime, but Hollywood loves their remakes. Let's say that they do remake 1 through 9, right? But they do it with different dialogue, but they do it more like relatable. How fucking hilarious would that shit be? It's like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna train this fucking kid. You guys get over your shit. It's this, no cap. I'm real pissed.
They just yeeted Leia out into space.
It's like, you know, they just throw memes in there because that's how like common talk is. It's like, LOL, you think you have a place here on the Jedi Council? As if. It's like, what the fuck? That'd be the best. I would love that so much.
Like, nah, bitch.
Nah, he says, do you want to, it's like, and then it's like, what do you mean I'm too old? What do you mean he's too old that I can't train him? It says, D's nuts. Got him.
No, dude, my favorite meme of episode 1 has to be when they're checking Anakin out, like they're doing the test, and he's like, oh, a spaceship, whatever. And it's like, how do you feel? He's like, cold, whatever. And I think Kai Mundi's like, your thoughts dwell on your mother. He's like, my thoughts dwell on your mother.
Your mother.
Like, oh!
Yeah.
That is my favorite episode 1 meme, dude.
Yeah, me too. As soon as he started saying, I was like, yes, I know where he's going.
Dude.
He was one with the Force.
God bless the internet.
God bless it. Dude, because everything's on the internet. I'm just waiting for, like, Kenobi. I'm so excited for Kenobi. That and Ahsoka.
So what I'm looking forward to, but what also breaks my heart with Kenobi, is it's only going to be like 4 episodes. six, 4 episodes maybe, and that's it. It's only one season, and that's it. And I'm like,
I think that's the case.
At least I'm getting something.
I think it's gonna be like one episode or one season of like. I think it's gonna be 8. But just like understanding his.
I love that.
His story between like Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. I think it's gonna be it.
Yeah. I mean,
so one thing that I've seen the internet play at is why does he age so badly on Tatooine?
He's on the fucking sun all day.
You go. I was gonna say, well, there's 2 suns, and the day-night cycle or whatever is probably different than where he was. I'm trying to let the internet validate why he goes from being a middle-aged man to an old man very, very quickly in the span of like 20 years. But
yeah, I'll say I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah, because at the beginning,
who honestly gives a shit?
Like, at the end of the day, it's Star Wars. I don't care. Like, I care about a lot of things about Star Wars, but if it's the difference between Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness, I will give them that time space. You know?
Yeah.
So, how would you feel if at the end of Kenobi, it is the scene where Luke gets knocked out by the Tusken Raiders, and this shadowy figure comes and makes the noise, scares them off, walks up, and he's checking on him, and then you hear R2 go off, and he flips the hood down, and he goes, "Hello there," and that's when it stops. That's when the credits roll, and that is the end of Kenobi. I think I would actually be really stoked on that.
I mean, I would love that. That's the feeling I got at the end of Rogue One when, you know.
Oh, you got the Leia like transfer.
10 and 4's coming up, and you see Leia get the plans. Eventually, you're like, did they just do that? Like we didn't know that was happening until it happened.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, to be honest, to piggyback off of that, like I think what my favorite part would be in that. Let's say that he does that. He checks on Luke. Luke's laying there and he's like, "Hello there," and then it pans to Luke. It's like General Kenobi, and just like pulls up 2 lightsabers. That would be the best. But I have to say, like, if they're probably gonna end like that, or at least give us the satisfaction to tie into the very beginning of Episode 4 by being like, you know, Luke is like whatever. You don't really see him much, maybe. And then Obi's like, I gotta go check on Luke. And he goes and you see him, and it's like a silhouette shot of him facing him. And then all of a sudden you hear, Luke! And then you see the back shot of Obi-Wan, and you see in the distance him run up and like Luke stand on the dome, you know, like the dome around it, and was like, yeah. And then it ends.
Yeah.
That would be fucking cool too.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
That would be amazing.
How much of a time jump do you think it will eventually go to in the Kenobi series? Because I know it's taken place, I think, like maybe 10 years after 3. Well, I mean, I know that from the actual time jump, but I think they said it's going to be like 10 years after 3 is when Kenobi starts.
So
do you think they're going to do any more of a time jump throughout it? Because I think what they should do is have the Obi-Wan moment where he realizes that Vader is still alive. Because again, at the end of 3, he thought that he had killed his best friend and that he died there on that planet. And there was a comic series, I can't remember. The internet tells me a lot of things, and I can't give you absolute sources. But he was in a cantina on Tatooine. It could have been. He's in a cantina and on Tatooine, and the space news is on, and the Empire has taken over this planet thanks to Lord Vader. And Obi-Wan checks the TV and is like, holy shit, he's still alive. And that's like when PTSD kicks in for him and he's having all these flashbacks. He kind of has that moment like, well, I didn't finish my job. I need to go finish my job. And I think he maybe goes to confront him, but he can't confront him. I think that would be cool to see on the live action circuit. But it's up for speculation at this point, you know?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I wanted to bring up earlier is kind of not unfinished business, but he felt him through the Force. He thought he slipped because that's definitely when Anakin died and Vader was born, if you will. My question is like at the very beginning in the middle of Episode 1, when Anakin's at the Jedi Council and you see Yoda look at him, because Yoda's one of the ones that can see further into the future than most because he's not really clouded. He's more precise. you see him and he kind of squints at Anakin. He's like, your future is clouded, right? What do you think he saw? Because he doesn't really explain it much that I remember. Like, what do you think he saw up into the point to where it was like, it's uncertain if you're going to go to path B or you're going to go to path A?
I don't think he saw
Victor, take it.
anything.
Okay.
I don't think he actually had a good feeling on what. I think he was saying exactly what he felt. I think he said that like everything that he was seeing was clouded because what was it? Episode 2, he said the dark side shrouds everything, and they didn't really have a good grip on it at that point. They didn't know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Mace had a good sit down and said, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like we don't know what's going on. So I don't think Yoda really had a good idea, and I think he was kind of wigged out by it at that point.
Well, that's a good point though, because again, up until episode 1, it had been a few hundred years since a Sith had been around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Yoda by the end of 6 is like 400 years old, so he may have had some knowledge of the Sith, but he wasn't as attuned to picking up on the Sith, like sensing them in the Force. Again, they cloud everything. So at that point in 1, it was cloudy. Like he had no idea what was going to happen. He probably didn't suspect that was dark side related. It could have been. He left that kind of open, but like you said, he just didn't see it as well as he could with others, and that's probably what scared him the most. It's like all these other younglings and people who have come in here. I've kind of been able to look into the future, see what they're going to bring to the table, and yes, no. But you, young Skywalker, it's very cloudy. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's something about you.
So what you're saying to me is that Yoda is a guidance counselor, and when he looks to the Force, he basically hands them a job equivalency test. And when he ran it through the CT scanner, Anakin's came back as invalid. That's what you're telling me right now.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
It's like, you're going to be a janitor in the Force. You're going to be a stockbroker in the Force.
Broom boy.
but you, Anakin...
No, Broom Boy's not even at the academy.
Dude, okay, first off, I've always loved the Captain Planet style rings. I think those are fucking cool. So when that kid whipped out the fucking Captain Planet ring with the rebellion on it, that was cool as shit. But at the same time, when he used the Force to pick up the broom, my question is, you're a slave. Why don't you just use the Force to do your chores for you while you can just sit back and have a cigarette, dude? Like, what the fuck? If you can use it to pick up a broom, you sure as fuck can use it to sweep the fucking stables, you lazy ass kid.
Kid's huffing on death sticks while he's using his mind to sweep up the stall.
Dilf, why don't you have a cigarette right now and just wait till that episode comes?
Right? I'll probably die.
Gladly.
But that's the thing. It's like, it's so crazy, like how massive that story, because who knows? Right? Who knows? They could have been like, hey guys, we're making an episode 10, and guess who's going to kill Rey? Broom Kid.
Broom Boy.
It's like, maybe that's a reference
Dude,
to Star Wars.
so shitty.
Maybe it's a reference to Star Wars.
That would be
Kid.
so shitty.
Because, I mean,
It's like kids are coming back to save the universe.
It's like, do you guys remember the meme Star Wars Kid? Do you guys remember that meme?
Yes.
So
I lived it.
So the Star Wars Kid. Well, here's some fucking trivia for you. So after episode 1, when he made that, right? He posted it on, or he showed it to his friends. His friends got it.
Are you talking about the Darth Maul kid that they reference in Arrested Development?
Yes. So this is
okay.
true. You can look this up. He showed his friend. His friend thought it was funny. His friend shared it with his bunch of friends, and they posted it on the internet and was like, haha, let's look at our stupid little friend. Well, he was kind of not right, if you will, with it. He always had he had a mental disability where he had social anxiety and social interactions or whatever. Well, he ended up going kind of crazy about it and dropped out of school because of this. So when George Lucas found out and saw this meme going on, that he offered him and his parents a role in the movie, episode 2, just when they were storming, like all the Jedis were there. They was like, hey, I want you to be a Jedi in the background to pay homage to you. You know, I love what you did or whatever. He turned it down because he was so mentally like destroyed by it that he turned it down, and he actually is one of the founders. There's an organization that goes around that if any meme gets big on the internet that makes someone look stupid, they'll reach out to him and be like, hey, do you want counseling? Do you want to join our group to spread awareness for like marketing,
That's
you know,
legit,
viral
dude.
bullying and shit? Well, George Lucas knew that, and secretly, I don't know if this is true or not, he actually helps fund that organization. Cause like,
That's cool.
Cause he was like,
Super
he's
cool.
like, dude, I get it. I get what, you know, you did kind of look like an idiot, but here, you're a fucking cool kid. So he like helped fund
Dude,
him and stuff.
How many of us though? How many of us did the exact same shit? We
Oh,
just didn't
hell
set up
yeah.
a video camera.
Dude,
You know?
hell yeah.
I mean, I did at one point, but I didn't post it and share it with any of my friends because I knew that I looked like a jackass.
Do you
But,
still have it?
dude, I would be out in my yard. Fuck yeah. It's on VHS and like my dad's. Yeah.
You gotta show me. You gotta show me, dude.
If there's a way for me to stream a VHS to the internet, I'll totally do it.
Oh, I'll find
There definitely
But-
is.
it.
It's gonna be a lot of effort.
Worth it.
I used to buy, it was the build your own lightsaber kits. Like you could get them at Walmart. It was all plastic. It was nothing legit. You just had like the hilt, and you could add these different little pieces like sleeves over top of it. You could make the
Oh, I
Obi-Wan,
remember.
you could make a Luke, a Darth Vader. There was an attachment for the double blade, so you could make a Darth Maul. And I had that, dude, and I would just be out in the yard with the double bladed lightsaber, trying my best not to cut my head off. Because again, I
Alright.
was like, if I nick myself, that's it. I'm not a fucking Jedi. Like, and my dad, he would watch me do that out in the yard and just be like, look at you, you fucking idiot. And I'm just, I'm having the time of my life, you
Yeah.
know. And that kid was doing the exact same thing because this universe, these movies, these stories, they resonate with us. We want to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
part
Yeah.
of it, you know. And
Yeah.
just to have that feeling. So I mean, I don't know where I'm going with it. I'm just saying
That anybody
props
can...
to the kid for doing
You don't have to
something
go
that he
anywhere with
enjoyed.
it, man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, dude. It's what's so powerful about this. Like, let's give, you know, like apples to oranges, right? You got Star Wars and you got Star Trek. What is the two differences between the fandom, right? Star Wars, it can be anybody. It can be fucking anybody. You can be a fucking Jedi if you just believe, right? You can mount to anything and put forth effort. Star Trek, you got to work your way up through the ranks, or you're a red shirt and you die.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
cool.
you're basically the same with Star Wars, though. I mean, if you're a Jedi, you start out as a Padawan, you work your way up to knighthood, and then eventually a master. And
But I mean, yeah,
same thing in the Stormtrooper universe. You know, you start out as a peon, and you work your way up to different generals and ranks like that.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, and I feel bad for saying it. I guess maybe I'm not super big into Star Trek. Like I would watch it sometimes with my
in
dad,
stream.
but like.
I'm joking.
In stream right now.
I'm
But,
right there
like,
with you.
I can appreciate what it was.
Uh-huh.
You know, again, Captain Kirk was awesome. Then you had Picard, and I really didn't watch any of that. I did watch the J.J. Abrams new movies,
Uh-huh.
which I thought they were pretty good, dude. That's good.
They were very
you know?
good. Yeah.
Sci-fi action movies. You know, good CGI. It was really cool. But it wasn't something I was like, I'm going to devote my entire life. I'm going to buy, what are they? Little phasers and shit like that.
Yeah.
It didn't draw me in like that. And that could have also
No.
been, like you said, I didn't get into it at a young age. There
Yeah.
wasn't something like that it had stuck with me and gives me that nostalgic feeling like I
Yeah.
get with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You see a lot of Star Wars fans who are original fans, who are deeply invested into Star Trek because if they grew up loving Star Wars at a young age, and that young age being the late 70s, early 80s, they got into Star Trek because that was the closest thing they had to Star Wars between that gap
Right.
of 83 to, I mean, 99, but, you know, the new releases of the movies, the special editions came out before that, and they re-released them in theaters in the early 90s.
Yep.
But, you know, they had that whole time period of like no Star Wars. It was only books.
Yep.
And like board games.
Yeah. And that's what's so crazy is because it's like Star Trek has a massive universe too, right? Let's give them credit.
Yeah.
It's just it's it's not Star Wars, man. Because like,
No, it's two completely different things.
Mhm.
And like I was kind of touching on it before, it's like it is sci-fi versus fantasy.
Mhm.
Where
Yep.
you have people from Earth going out and venturing off to other planets, and then you have a different galaxy, you know, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Mhm.
And then I think those are two very different things.
Mhm. Like my cousin-in-law. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're good. I was done.
My cousin-in-law is a die-hard Star Trek fan, and many drunken conversations at weddings, even where we're just like, "Fuck it, I don't care. Shut up. It's your wedding. Cool. We're gonna talk about Star Trek, Star Wars here." Like we came to this conclusion where it's so pivotal because they're both so in depth to where it gives you such a massive sandbox to play in with pivotal characters and storylines and arcs, but there's so much unanswered questions, and that's why they're both so like sought after. I mean, you go to fucking college to learn Klingon. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's pretty wild.
I wish I could go to college to be, a Force user. That would be great. I would immediately,
Or at least to learn like Hutchies.
yeah, just go and learn like all the Mandalorian script. Be able to write in Mandalorian. That'd be great.
Yeah.
No, but
Sorry, I don't mean to be distracted, but that scene you were talking about with Palpatine coming in after they've said that they're doing the vote, he says, "I have no doubt that I'll be Chancellor."
and then the music stops.
Like,
it just boop.
I can't have the music because you guys will hear it, and then they'll fucking end stream for us.
Yeah, because they're very
Watching the
hard.
subtitles, he's like, "I have no doubt that I will be Chancellor."
Because he sits down when he does it. He does. I have no doubt I'll
Wow.
be Chancellor.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't be here. I'm going to Naboo, and it's like,
But then Padme is like, "Well, who else is up for election?" And it's Bail and Antilles from Alderaan, and somebody else. Can you imagine if Bail would have came out on top and won that shit? The different universe we would have had, the different galaxy we would have had.
Even one of the ET guys from ET, that would have been great.
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah,
they're like, there's such a cool little Easter.
That's a
egg.
deep cut.
Yeah, because that would have been
Very
funny.
deep.
And
Very
ET
deep.
grasping for Yoda.
Because how funny would it have been if like they're like, here's our new supreme leader, and he's like, Reese Pieces, and this is like,
It's like, Jesus, what the fuck did we do?
you pan over to everybody that's voting, and they're all just like mounds of spice on their little like hover racks. It's like, oh, I don't know.
I am reestablishing a vote of no confidence with fucking ET over there.
It's like, yeah, we got this jackass out, but we need to get this motherfucking guy out here too.
Because
So okay, again in ET, like the alien and Elliot are like linked together. So when ET drinks a beer, he's fucked up. How many of those other aliens can like do spice and fuck somebody else up? Let them feel those repercussions.
Because how can we
Take
see...
the shit.
I'm good. You're doing it for me. You're doing it for me, bro.
Hey man,
Like you hit it and I exhale the smoke.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, I know like you only got enough for one person, but man, can we just like touch fingertips and like I can get high with you? It's like, fuck yeah, boop.
Probably.
But
That's probably how it works.
But like the thing is like all the other like species and races of like aliens and stuff are all represented in the Star Wars universe by just a quick cameo, a camera pan, or an in-depth story with them. How come those, like the ET, whatever their race is, how come they're not back? Is it just because there's like a little nudge to Steven Spielberg, or do you think it's like, I forgot about it?
There was,
Well,
there was the reference in E.T. at Halloween when a kid is dressed up as Yoda.
Oh yeah.
And E.T. is kind of like looking at it, and I think it's just saying home.
Yeah,
E.T. is just saying home to it.
He says home and he grasps for him.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So,
and then the kid's like pulling back.
Oh, come on, fuckhead.
Yeah,
That's not who,
they recognize each other because again, they're from a galaxy far, far away, and
Yoda's a very influential part of the Yoda's a very influential part of the Senate, and ET's culture is part of the Senate, so they know each other.
What if it was like it's not even that? It's like let's even dive deep and say that they're from the same planet. I mean, we don't know Yoda's home planet, the name or the name of Yoda's
Honestly,
species.
we don't.
Which
all we know is
like,
we know Yoda,
yeah.
we know Yaddle, and we know Grogu, and
Yeah.
that's it.
And I swear to God, I swear to you guys, if Mandalorian comes fucking back and they ruin that shit by giving him a fucking name for the species or naming the planet, I am fucking revolting. I will storm George Lucas's house like they. I can't handle it. Leave it a mystery.
I don't think they will.
They need...
I think them giving Grogu off to Luke was them saying, "This is a mystery. This is for
this is."
I mean, maybe eventually in the next like 20 years, maybe we find out, but not right now.
Oh,
definitely not.
Because I can't.
I think that the thing with the Mandalorian, them handing him off, was like, okay, you know, we've kept this arc going for a while. We have the child, and well, the fandom knows that it's a baby Yoda, and that well, he is Force sensitive. He's been using the Force in season 1. Well, season 2, we're going to try to get him back to his planet with his kind, which could be his species. It could be just Jedi in general. And they went with just Jedi in general, which was awesome. You know, they left the mystery of the Yoda race and the Yoda planet kind of up in the air. There are some things in the Star Wars universe that have been left open that I think should just be left open, which is like that. But as far as that goes, I'm cool with him going off to, you know, train with Luke. I am curious to know how that plays out with the sequel movies. Was he at Luke's Jedi Temple when Kylo took over? But it's another one of those things. Do we want to know? Do we just want to leave that open and let our minds go crazy? And
that's what makes it better, because you can form your own reality.
Well, I can see that time period being very developed in the next few years, which obviously we are seeing it's going to be developed between like Ahsoka and the Rangers of the New Rebellion and Mando and the Book of Boba Fett. It's going to be very developed. So I can see that being the new MCU-esque, you know, era.
That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
It's gonna be all TV, and Grogu's gonna be told, and it's gonna be cool. But I don't think we're gonna have a firm grasp on that culture as a whole.
Hey Mesmer, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for bringing 15 people to the raid. Thank you so much, dude.
What?
Mesmer, I love you. You're tuning in at us.
Nobody told you anything, did they?
And thank you so much for subbing. Thank you. Continue. Sorry.
Killing it.
Thank you, guys.
I was going to say, so again, with Disney, and we need to somehow segue back to episode 1, but we are kind of talking about the things that are out there. With Disney owning everything, and they're giving us all these little stories, that is exciting. But again, like we were talking about, like the mystery of some things.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to go too far? Has it already gone too far? Are they just going to beat this until we're sick of it? I mean, again, as fans of the movies,
anything, did they?
Which is where this all stems from, was one man's 3 movies that he started in the 70s. And then we get the prequels starting in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then you get the sequels, which are, you know, here in the last 10 years, you know, shit, probably not even that. But then you got that. That's the end of that story. And they're like, well, guess what? Now we're doing a series where we're going to tell stories that are not about the main characters that we've been watching all these years. And then they kind of drip feed you some of those character references in The Mandalorian. And they're like, well, guess what? Now there's like 8 other shows in the Star Wars world we're about to give you. And a part of me is like, yo, that's super cool, because this is something I never thought I would get to see. And another part of me is like, is this something that we really, really need? Are we going to push this too far? Is it going to ruin this for us? You know, I'm a little hesitant, but I'm excited.
Yeah, Delph, you want to take this?
Yeah, so I actually have both sides of that fence. So this is where I guess me and my wife, we kind of argue a lot. I'm the type of person where it's like, leave it alone. I want the mystery. I want to be able to form my own realities in my head. Could be all the funfetti, shameless plug, that I've intaked in my body. Could be all of that, dude. Could be
No shame.
No shame at all. Could be all of that. Could be all like, I just love thinking and what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this could have happened? I love having those conversations with people. But my wife is the type of person where she'll watch stuff. Like, she'll watch The Crown and a new character will come up and she's like, oh, they did this. Oh, this was wrong. This is not what happened. This is not what the history book said. So she wants to find out the facts and get it right and be straightforward and get all those answers. So we talk about it constantly. We talk about Star Wars pretty heavily too about that. So her idea is, yeah, I want to know. Except for the Yoda thing, we finally, agree on that. She's like, but I want to know, where did Luke go? What happened? What's the answer? I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just leave it up to chance, So I feel like yes and no. I'd like to have some more answers. Be like, hey, well, here he trained him. So what happened to Grogu after he grabbed him and was like, here you go, buddy. Bloop. Let's get into my X-Wing. I want to know what happens. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, they could crash in a fucking planet and survive for 10 years like Castaway. I don't care. I want to just form my own concept. But I'll leave it to the table after
Victor?
that.
Well, I think there's so much value to be had where there wouldn't be podcasts like this to speculate on, where we don't have like gaps to fill, and we don't have things to talk about and amazing things to speculate on. And I mean that I love that. I don't want every nook and cranny filled in the Star Wars universe. I don't want everything to be told to us,
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are a lot of time periods in the Star Wars universe where I could see stories being told, and there's a lot of speculation on before the First Order, which is being filled in with the Mandalorian and Ahsoka and that whole genre. So I think, there's, plus and minuses and pros and cons, whatever you want to call it, to everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking forward to the Old Republic. That's a story, a time period that's always intrigued me, which I know Dilf just bought Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
Keep talking.
I have never played those games, and I am kicking myself in the ass over it. But that is a time period I would love to see. Again, maybe not everything. Drip feed me some cool stuff. Let me see some Darth Bane in there. That would be pretty tight.
Especially since he's canon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. And I'm okay with certain things. I just don't want it to go too far to the point of where I'm like, oh great, another Star Wars show about people who I don't give a shit about,
I got him for free.
People you don't give a shit about.
How did you get them for free?
I'll tell the story, but go ahead.
Well, that's it, though, as far as, would you watch a Greedo show?
Yeah.
They run out of characters, and they're like, well, we're going to do a
I would
Greedo
watch
series.
it. I would watch it hesitantly, but that's what I said about WandaVision. And I love that show.
I haven't started it yet. Don't ruin it. I haven't started it yet.
I will not say a word about it. It's different, and I love it. And I don't they're those characters.
Subtle hint, guys.
So, at the end of this podcast, Victor, we are when we sign off, we ask that you hang on for a little bit. That way we can actually say our goodbyes. I'm gonna get your number, bro. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna snap you whatever I can, and we're gonna talk more about movies and Marvel and Star Wars. And
what I'll do is after this,
besties.
Because I want to join in on this conversation, because me and Ligmo, we talk about this like daily. I'll start a fucking group chat. Actually,
we need to do that.
You know what?
Please do.
Hey guys, this is gonna be a shameless plug for another thing. Me and Ligma are a part of a group, Discord group, that we talk about everything and anything, and anybody that wants to do it, please don't hesitate to hit me up and ask me for the link, and I will personally invite you to the Discord. It's free balling. Say whatever fuck you want. Just don't be an asshole. That's the only rule.
Say whatever you want, just don't be an asshole to each other. Let's just have fun. So, Victor, I will send you the link as well to join us on
please.
Discord, and you can hang out. Say what?
Hop on in, dude.
Now, there is one rule other than the rule don't be an asshole. If it's your first night you fight, you have to go to Thunderdome with the reigning champ, which is real Ace of Base. You have to go in there with him. It is.
I still got to step into the ring. Like I was with the original knighting of the Discord, but I still got to hop into Thunderdome. We got some shit that needs to be. We need to squash that beef.
Ooh, that's hot. But Forname actually said something. He's like, someone said the prequels went too far when we were talking about going too far in the universe explanations. He says, honestly, I don't like them, but the Clone Wars and Rebel series made the prequels so much better.
That is
All
not
right.
the first,
Okay.
and I agree with that.
Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. What did you not like about the prequels before the Clone Wars? And don't just give me Jar Jar. Don't just say Jar Jar.
It was the music.
I don't want to answer for him or her, but I will say that a lot of people say that the character development for Anakin is not there. Obi-Wan is mostly there, but they get a lot more character development with Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah.
But with Anakin, they get a lot more
dude.
character development. But they get a lot of.
It is hard watching. I was gonna say it's hard watching Anakin go from the little kid in 1 to the angsty teenager in 2, to all of a sudden he's a bit upset with everything and is immediately able to jump ship to the dark side. That is a little confusing, but thank God for the Clone Wars for tying a lot of that shit up. But even before we had that, I was still okay with it, and maybe that's just because I was such a huge Star Wars fan. I was willing to just accept it.
See, that's
another
that's
part
where
of
I'm
me.
at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, another part of me was like, again, when I'm watching something, I like to see myself in one of the characters, and I was trying to fill the shoes of Anakin with myself, and looking at everything that was happening to him, and being like, well, would I make those choices too?
Mm-hmm.
And in some aspects, I could totally understand and see the way he was looking at things. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure if I would have went into the temple and killed not just the men, but the women and the children too. But in his eyes, it was doing whatever it took to get the power he needed to save the one he loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he went berserker, man. I mean,
which we need to talk about it when 3 comes, and I'll bring it back up. But do you know that George Lucas, the kid who talks to him in 3, he's like, Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? He had a kid who looked like Anakin so that it was Darth Vader destroying the child in himself.
Isn't that George Lucas's actual son?
No, George Lucas's actual son was the kid who Bail Organa.
Yeah, when he shows up to the
don't kill
platform,
him.
he just like jumps out of nowhere. Yeah,
and he's like, that's Jet Lucas. Yeah.
Oh shit. So Forname actually answered your question. He says, I felt like they weren't just fully fleshed out. There were a lot of separate plot threads that didn't go anywhere, and a lot of unnecessary things, like qualifying the Force with midichlorians. Knew you guys were nerds. I'm a huge Star Wars man myself. Have a shitty Millennium Falcon tattooed on my back. It's not shitty. It's fucking awesome. Cool. Any Star Wars tattoo is great. Even if it's done by a 3-year-old, it's still cool. But if it felt like the first 3 episodes were just rushed. Yeah.
I mean,
each one was like, I say each one was over like 3 hours, and then a lot was left on the cutting room floor. I think Revenge of the Sith was close to 6 hours, you know,
that would be crazy.
The entire intro where they're going to save Palpatine was at least 1 hour.
Before cuts and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just parts where Palpatine's just sitting there and he's like, so, space weather, huh?
Yeah.
Just sucks.
No, I
Count
totally...
Dookie, I'm thirsty.
he gives him a straw. This is a speed.
No, I could go into like detail about like every plot development and everything with the prequels that wasn't developed fully, and like we could have all had a much more emotional tie to all the characters, and like obviously like at a younger age, and I was so emotionally attached to Anakin in that time, and I was devastated when he turned the dark side, even though I knew it was going to happen. But as movies, they could have been done better, yeah. But I mean, they were done in a way that we're still on this podcast right now talking about them in a certain way.
Talking about it, yeah.
And it's something that brings
I mean,
us together. But
and it's not to take away from the comment that yes, they could have been done better.
Yeah.
But I think they were done in a way that, and they were done in a way that we're here talking about them and having such a good time enjoying them,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, again, certain things, and that's with any movie, especially with Star Wars. Like we said earlier, the biggest critics of Star Wars are Star Wars fans. I mean, we know what we want, we know what we like, and we get pissed off when we don't get it. Okay, but with one, again, I was 7 years old at the oldest when I saw episode 1 in theaters, and there's this little kid who was about my age who I was like, I want to be that. I want to be the kid who's flying the super fast pod racers, who's going to get trained by Jedi and all that. So right then, from the beginning, when I first saw it, I had an emotional connection to that character. So when 2 comes along, granted, I'm not 19 years old, but I'm like, well, that's going to be me when I grow up. That was always my tie to that character. And again, some of the acting may not have been the best, when we can't give them crap for it. They were given a script, they were given direction, and they went with it. But I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion. If you don't like the prequels, that's well and fine. And I also agree, it could have been done better. There's certain things I would have liked to have seen that we didn't get to see. Some things that could have been changed, but hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. And
if there was ever a way to salvage the missing hours of the Star Wars movies, like how you have the extended Lord of the Rings that are like 12 hours.
So good.
That would be the coolest shit ever. The director's cut Star Wars movies, that would probably fix a lot of the issues that a lot of people see with these movies, because you're getting a lot of that filler that you didn't know you wanted. And maybe you didn't need it, but it's still hashing out the story, fleshing it out is what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the big thing is like, we got what we got. Like, that's the end of the story. We got what we got, right? And I have to agree with Victor. Is like, but we can talk about it, right? We can fantasize about it. We could build our own realities about it, have conversations about it, have arguments where it's like, Anakin's one of the best characters. It's like, fuck you, no, you're wrong. It's, it's Greedo, or whatever. So it's like, it's cool that we can all like have our own opinions and come together, and it's all about one final thing, and it's literally just movies. That's how it started, was just movies. And even though there's books and video games and RPGs, which some of the video games really fucking kill it, like Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Academy, Force Awakens. Fuck, what am I doing? Force Unleashed.
Unleashed.
So there's such a massive universe that we have, and it all stems from a guy who has been made a couple movies, had a couple box office blowouts, was like, you know what? Space. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so cool.
Space. Let's talk about it. Yeah, it's so true.
Check it out. I've been watching a lot of Check It Out with Dr. Steve Brule lately.
Let's check it out.
Let's talk about it.
I'm a doctor too, whatever. But it's like, it's such a cool entire thing that I'm showing my kids. Ligma's showing his kids. Victor, you'll show your kids, and then hopefully by the time that they have kids, they're gonna show theirs. And then it's
they will.
And it's gonna keep going. Listen, in my will, and it's crazy. It's such a massive story, and there's like Star Trek, and everything has its own thing. But you think of other series that kind of dropped off. Nobody gives a fuck about, but was huge for the time. Twilight, that nobody cares about anymore. You know, so it's like good. Fuck you.
Good
'Cause
point.
a good story or idea will last forever.
Yeah.
You know, if something touches you, you'll wear that as a badge of honor. And that's what Star Wars did for not just the entire planet that it touched, but us three. And that's why we're sitting here talking about Star Wars. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. But it's like, you know.
Damn.
I'm just being honest. Like, I'm, you know, it's touched all of our lives in a different way. It's pulled us out of fucking bad scenarios in our life where we were down in the dumps and we're like, fuck it, man, I'm going to put on episode 4. I need to feel better. Or I'm going to put on,
man.
you know, episode 5.
Or
And
let me watch episode 3 and just cry because, dude, I to this day, when we hit the final goodbye between Anakin and Obi-Wan before they confront each other again on Mustafar, that part breaks my heart.
Yeah,
Which they do.
wait.
They say they.
You got to wait to talk about
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry. I know.
Please.
God,
we got to save some meat. We
Okay.
got to save some meat
Okay.
for the other
We
ones.
do.
I know.
Well,
I
you
know.
do.
No, dude, you're coming back. Dude, you're coming back. I know we have
I'll be
other
back.
we have we definitely want you
You're
back,
coming
and
back.
I know Jesh wants to come back, and she's definitely a big Star Wars fan too. And I know.
So,
we
how
got
many people can you have on this Zoom call? Because if anybody else out there
over
wants to
100?
jump in for a little bit, can you really?
Yeah, the license
Jesus,
I
can you
bought.
imagine trying to talk over 99 more people?
Yeah, the license I bought. The one I bought was for like I think the occupancy is like, it says 100 plus, but I think it starts to like ragging itself through because it's all going to start blending together and the audio becomes bad. Because I know Victor, like we've said in the past, we used to work together. Having like 9 people on a fucking call and someone doesn't go on mute and you just hear fucking stupid ass phone call and shit like that. You hear on their keyboard
Type away and little click clack in the background. Yeah.
It becomes heavy. So I think most I
Yeah.
kind of want to have here is like I'd say 10 is pushing it, but I would like to have
10
like,
is
group.
a lot.
Yeah, but I'd like to have a group like every time.
A good
Well,
round table.
what I'm throwing out, is the idea of, you know, we could do it in channel points. So somebody saves up enough channel points, they can hop on for 5 minutes, and then they can throw out their questions, their thoughts on it, and then on to the next. But we can have a select group who are managing this. Again, Victor, you're more than welcome to. Jesh, anybody else? Again, if you're out there listening to this, you got the heart for Star Wars. You got some stuff you want to say. We'd love to have you on to let you express that. Because again, like we were saying, this is something that's near and dear to our hearts. It's affected us in one way or the other. It's nostalgic. It was our childhood. I mean, it was our parents' childhood, you know, and if it's a good story, even if it's about space pirates, it's a good story, you know. And
Sure.
you don't get a lot of that these days. Not a lot of stuff is as methodical and planned out. Like, you just get, well, we're getting from A to B in this hour and a half, 2 hour time period, and that's it. This was well thought out. I don't know if he had 7, 8, and 9 written when he wrote his original draft for Star Wars. I know he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but I don't know if he had the sequels in mind when he had his original draft.
I want to say he did, because wasn't it about their kids?
Yeah, well, he does. He's had 7, 8, and 9 written since he sold everything to Disney, and then that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
dude. Okay, when we hit the sequels, that'll be how we open it. He was supposed to be like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of an
consultant.
He was supposed he was supposed to be a consultant on everything, and then
consultant. That was the word. Thank you. And they were like, well, I've got this idea. This is kind of where I was going to take it. And they're like, oh, George, man, that's awesome. You know, that sounds really cool. We're not going to fucking do it, you old piece of shit.
Exactly.
They're like, hey, that's really cool.
The future is now, old man.
They're like, that's really cool,
the
George.
future is now. Let's get to that episode, and I can go into it for like an hour and a half.
They're like, George, that's really cool and all, but did you know that we have cookies at your trailer? And he's like, oh, cookies? Okay. They send him off and says,
They
yeah.
fucked George over hard.
Yeah. Dude, Robot Chicken.
Dude, but I
nailed
love
it.
that he's.
Have you
Go
seen
ahead.
that? Have you
Go
seen
ahead.
the Robot Chicken about that? Dude.
Yeah.
Nah.
Dude, it's
Plus-
it's like he's sitting.
Seth Green is pretty much running the Lego Star Wars franchise right now.
Yeah, because he's a
Which
massive
I'm not mad
fan.
about. I'm not mad about it.
Dude, the scene is like George Lucas is sitting in a psychiatry office, and he's like, so George, you know, we hear that there's movies coming out. He's like, I know, and I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And they're like, well, what would you do different? He's like, I just don't want to talk about it. Just, like, go past it. But it is so. He's like, well, what about people making their own parodies? We've heard, George. What about that Robot Chicken? He's like, nah, that one's okay. And then it's like Robot Chicken Star Wars, and it's like, but it's so true, dude. Like they fucked over George like hardcore. I mean, he was in
They
debt,
did.
and he was like, everybody that knows me knows the day that I found out that Star Wars, like the LucasArts films, was bought by Disney. I was pissed for like 2 straight years. Like anybody that brought up Star Wars, I was just like, motherfucking Disney, they're gonna ruin it. Watch me. Watch it happen. And they're like, everyone's like, no, it's good. Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. And I'm like, fine.
Because again, we were all just
They didn't
being
ruin it
very
yet.
Hopeful, wishful thinking. I mean, again, we didn't expect to get sequel movies. You know, that wasn't something we were expecting to get.
Mhm.
The fact that our parents got to see the originals, you know, 4, 5, and 6. My dad, he was fucking shook when episode 1 was announced. He was like, I talked to him about this the other day because he still hasn't seen 9. And I was like, Dad, I know you've got Disney Plus. You've been watching The Mandalorian. You need to watch 9. And no, swear to God. And we were talking about episode 1. And he was like, when I saw that was announced, I knew that I had to take you kids to go see it in theaters because I got to see the original one in theaters. And that changed my life. I wanted you guys to experience something like that. And I was like, well, Dad, just so you know, to this day, I'm still talking about that fucking movie. I've got a podcast on Sunday that I'm doing just that, talking about that movie that you took me to see in theaters at a very young age. And that was my first Star Wars in-movie experience. Now, my parents told me that they took me in the mid-90s when they did the remasters, like they put them back in the theaters. They're like, well, we took you to that too, but
97.
you were really young. And I was like, yeah, I was 97. I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I think it was 97.
Yeah,
when they
so
did
I
that.
damn sure don't remember that.
Yeah.
My mom was mad at my dad because she was like, it's too loud. He's not going to like it.
Shut up.
20 years
I'm right-
later, I'm
I'm-
a fucking
hey, man.
musician.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, man. The Phantom Menace was my first movie experience. I remember. I was born '94, so that
God,
was-
I'm so fucking old. Oh my
you
god.
are, man.
baby.
You're so old. God, get out of here.
Dude, okay, here's my first experience with
Go
Star
collect
Wars.
your Social Security and go to bed.
Dude, yes, it is almost past. I almost had to do a shift change and watch The Youngest. But what is?
You're so
This is gone
old.
for 3 hours and 40 minutes.
I know. This is gonna be one of the longer ones, but I'm having fun, so the wife can shut the hell up.
Me
If
too.
you're listening, shut the hell up. You can shut the hell up. No, it's fine. She's gonna beat me later. It's fine. But
He loves you.
Thoughts dwell on your mother.
But it's like when the first time I saw Star Wars, my mom was like big into cinema, right? And she comes into my room and I was playing Nintendo, and I remember exactly I was playing Cabal. Nobody knows that fucking game, but it is one of my favorite games. And she does, hey, I got you something, and just drops it in my lap. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And she's like, oh, it's Star Wars. Remember I've told you about Star Wars. We watched Star Wars. I was like, I don't remember. She's like, we're going to watch it. She sat in the floor and we watched episode 4 all the way through. And it was with there was like the box set that just had Vader on one side and it was
Yes.
all blue. So it was like the original right before they did the one with like, you know, the gold version, which was like had the changes and stuff made to it. Because each episode had an interview at the beginning of it. We're like, oh, well, I'm here.
I
with
have
Jo-
those.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm here with George Lucas, so tell me what you think about the film. And he's like, oh, well, I just, made these
Oh, I made
movies."
them.
Yeah, he's like, they're not bad. But so we watched them, and then I was hooked. And then when they started advertising, episode one, hey, Pepsi, Taco Bell, Doritos, and they started like announcing it, my mom's like, we're gonna go see it. Where do you want to go? And at the time there was a drive-in, which is probably still there. We went to a drive-in and saw it.
It is.
And I was fucking hooked. I was just like, this is so cool. Look at all this new Star Wars shit. I didn't know that they had like, what's a pod racer? I want to drive one. And then I remember
I'm gonna be right back. You keep talking. I'm gonna show you guys some cool shit from episode 1. I'll be right back.
But then I remember playing Star Wars Racer, and it was one of the coolest fucking games on the planet. Still one of the better games for 64.
It really is.
Dude,
And for PS2.
Oh, I know. Dude, so good. There's so many good games out there. And then I was always hooked. But I remember seeing it for the first time because I saw it before it came out. Because I think episode 1 came out and I was in like 6th grade. So I'm 32. So I'm fucking Tony Hawk's age when he landed the 900. So what have I done with my life? Nothing.
Well, now that you put it in that perspective, you're old as fuck.
I know. It's just so crazy, dude. It's just so nuts because it's like, I mean, with like, I'll be on doing stuff with Twitch and I'll talk about stuff and I'll make these references, and some of the people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, old man?" And I'm like, "Oh," they're like, "Yeah, I graduated in 2010." I was like, "Oh my god, 2010." Oh my god, I graduated.
I graduated high school in 2013.
Jesus Christ.
2011.
Oh.
2011. All right, you ready to see something cool?
Oh.
Yes.
So
Rogue Squadron.
The other day,
too.
I had to go to my dad's. I had to go to my dad's, and there was a toy box in his garage that he was cleaning out the garage, and I needed to pick up that toy box if I wanted to keep whatever was in it. So I brought it home and cracked it open and went down memory lane with all these old toys that I used to play with. But as I was going through it, I found something from episode 1, and I think you guys would really appreciate it. And here
it's a picture of him
he
shirtless.
is. This is the old suckers that you hold the button. He is supposed to like spin and like go side to side. Qui-Gon Jinn, dude. Original episode 1.
Dude.
Spin pop.
Literally had that shit.
Dude, spin
Yeah,
pop.
dude. Let's see. That is Lucasfilm 99. Yep.
God, we were so old, man.
Shaboom.
Speak for yourself, Dilf.
And I know. Yeah, I know, dude. We're in the prime of our youth.
Dude, okay.
Yeah, come on.
You remember when the first Star Wars movie was made?
Let me tell you how old I've gotten, right? So I was playing with my oldest the other day, and she had like wooden blocks. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll play with you. I went to bend down, my knees did, and then I went to stand up, and it's like in reverse. I've never heard a sound play in reverse like that. It was. It was like the way that it bended and sounded. I was like, that's not right. So I Google it, and the first thing that pops up, you're old. I'm like, fuck off, fucker.
I was gonna say, brother.
Thanks,
If
Webby.
you didn't know that before that, you're shit out of luck.
Dude, yeah, did I tell you the story?
It's a rough road ahead, let me tell you.
On my 30th birthday, this is no lie, right? I wake up. I look over, my wife's not in bed. I was like, oh, she probably got up early, take a shower or whatever. I was like, I'm going to get up, and get my day started. I think I had the day off or whatever. I go to do the whole, like when you get out of like bed, you roll and you push your hand down and then you set up because you just like use that as a motion. Well, I went to do that, my back popped and I just went numb from like the waist down. It's like pop, and I was like, oh, and I just lay there. I'm staring at the ceiling and I was like, today I'm 30. I can't feel my feet. I was like, I'm officially too old to give a fuck anymore.
Well, that was 60 years ago. You were rolling out of a wooden
God
bed.
damn, I didn't know. I've never felt any of those feelings.
Dude, let me show you. Like, I pop my knuckles constantly, like, because it's just like a thing. This hurts more than anything I've done. This is the worst experience. And as I'm getting older, my hands will start swelling where I can't bend them because I pop them so much. I'm that fucking old. Dude, I am so old that I'm pretty sure I can walk in a fucking like nursing home and they're like, you can stay.
Well, how did you get out?
Where's your
That's what
room?
they'll say.
No, it's just crazy. And I'll go and I'll put product in my beard and I'll comb it and I'll just see more and more gray hair up here and here and I'm like, God damn it. It's my girls, dude. They drive me fucking bonkers. That's why I'm getting gray hair.
Well, you have 2 girls to take care of. Well, you really have 3.
Young children. Yeah. Well, yeah. Mama Bear needs attention too.
Oh, dude.
She
But
does.
You have one who's 4.
Mama always needs
and
attention.
A newborn.
She's 3 months. She
So,
turned
like-
3 months on the 13th. Dude.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah,
dude, she's
I,
they're crazy, man.
I'll say I have the experience of dealing with a 4-year-old right now, and it's exhausting. And I have another one on the way, and I am super stoked about it. But at the same time, it's terrifying to think how much more attention I have to give to that one. And that's my biggest fear is having a second child. Is I don't want the first child to feel left out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's hard.
you've got to evenly distribute that attention and that love. And I've asked parents who have 2, 3 kids. I'm like, look, like when you have your first kid, that is the most love you've ever felt in your life. Like you think you know love before you have kids. When you have your newborn right there in front of you, when you're holding your child for the first time, you've never felt love like that until that moment. And then you're about to have another one and you're like, well, how am I going to feel about that? Like, which all the parents say, oh, it's going to be the same. Like you're going to love them the exact same.
It's different.
And some days you're going to love that other one a little bit more because that one was a shithead to you. So, you know, it's going to have those moments, but like it's super scary and it's a lot of energy that goes into that too. And it's exhausting, which is why you develop gray hairs at a young age of 94.
It's true, dude.
I gotta be honest, I don't have any kids. And I don't
Yeah.
have a girlfriend or a
Take
wife.
your time.
Yeah, dude, live it,
Take
man.
your time,
Be single, dude. I'm telling you.
I have a dog, and it's me and my dog are living a happy life together.
See? Dude, because
That's
let me
perfect,
let me
dude.
tell you,
That's
okay,
fine.
I want you to give me a step by step, and then I'm going to tell you without saying anything else, my step by step. All right, you need to get gas, right? You pull up to the pump, put your car in park, turn your car off. What do you do?
I go up to the little gas teller. I put my card in,
Mhm.
and then I select which kind of gas I want to get. After I put in my PIN and everything. After everything is said and done,
What is your card number and PIN number, please? I need the expiration date and the security code on the back. I need a step by step.
now that we're streaming this, let me tell you everything. So I take my card out, I put my gas in and I kind of wait around. I don't I make sure it doesn't fall out of the car.
Mm-hmm. So mine is, let's say that like something happens, like, oh man, I need a soda, or hey, I could go for a bottle of water. You just walk in, pay for it, walk out, right? Just average. Mine is this. Like, this is a parent thing. You pull up to the gas pump, put it in park, turn around, be like, I gotta get gas. Do not throw something up front. Okay? Don't. Then you get out, and you're like, I'm serious. And then you get out, you do the whole card thing, you put the gas in, and then you just stare into the window. Just making sure
you're looking in the car now.
Yeah, just like look at the inside the car, and you're just like, you're watching your kid because your kid's like, hey, and then they got like a toy or something, or like a book of stickers, and they just start peeling them off and dropping them on the carpet, or they're eating something and they just like
we're eating them.
They just
They're
do
eating
this.
them, yeah.
They just do this and knock crumbs everywhere, and you're like, I can't put the window down because there's gas fumes, but what did I just say? And then you got to get water or something, so you lock it. If you want to be one of those parents, you lock it and walk backwards staring at the car. You turn around inside the place and you're just looking at your car. Here's my money. Thanks, man. All right. And you're just watching it, making sure nothing happens. Or you can just be a parent that just doesn't give a shit. Or you get out and you take the kid inside with you. So, like, no longer are the
tough,
days
man.
that I can just fuck it. Just like I'll put my card in and get my
Dude,
gas
I say
and
fuck
go.
it all the time.
'Cause
I let it fucking roll.
I can't, dude. Like I got my car's clean. I don't want any more cookies jammed and ground into my carpet.
Bullshit. Your
I've
car's
never
clean.
had
You have
cookies in my-
children.
Dude, it's spotless. My wife cleaned it the other day. She had this inkling to clean the cars, and so
Bullshit.
she did.
Dude, all right,
Well-
here's the thing. Whenever we clean, if
Yeah.
we clean anything, it'll last maybe, if we are lucky,
Mhm.
if we are blessed that day, an hour. We can get an hour of a clean house, an hour of a clean car, and it's either my son who comes through and he's like, "Oh, well, all of my
Mhm.
toys are up. I want this toy." I'll get it out, and then 20 minutes later, he's like, "This toy sucks. I'm gonna go get this bucket of toys and dump them out and figure out which ones I want." And that's gonna stay there for the next 3 days. And the car situation, which I'm bad about it too, but I love her to death. She's not here right now. My wife is pretty bad about leaving trash and fast food bags in the car and cups in the drink holders, and I'm just like, you're killing me. Like, when you pull up to a gas pump to pump your gas, there's trash cans. Just like, throw some shit away.
Yeah.
No, you want to keep that Starbucks cup for another 4 days? That's fine.
Yeah, in that hot car, in the middle of the fucking.
Yeah, pick your
summer
battles
heat.
there.
Yeah. Dude, like for instance, earlier.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Earlier in the podcast, right, my oldest Zelda walked in here, and she loves to be on cameras. Whenever I have this, and I'm just like fixing overlays or whatever, I'll turn my camera to the side so I can see one and I can see the other, and she'll like dance and stuff because she loves it. I look at her and I'm like, you need to go. Like, Twitch doesn't like kids being on camera. I don't want to get our fucking channel banned. Like, please God. And I'm texting my wife, come get her, please. She sees that I have like action figures and limited editions, like Funko Pops here. I'm like, don't you fucking touch them. And then, so I put my candle here knowing that she was going to come in here because she doesn't like candles because she's like afraid of them. So she'll try to blow it out. So every time I was looking back, I'm like, all right, she doesn't see him or she'll blow it out. And then I know one of them's missing. So I'm like, don't fucking do it. So it's just like, dude, having kids is hard, especially if you want nice things. It's not a fucking thing. We have Play-Doh ground in our carpet, and I have used every means of every internet.
surprising.
Nothing gets it out. Nothing gets it out.
Don't get your dog Play-Doh, Victor.
Yeah,
Do it.
Dude, I work at a homeless shelter, and we have like all these people who offer to bring like kids like crafts and everything. I'm like, please God, don't bring Play-Doh. Please God,
Yeah.
bring Play-Doh because it gets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Dude, it's bad. Dude, that and stickers. Stickers.
Do you think they had Play-Doh and stickers in episode 1 because somehow we have to tie all this together?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys want to talk about Star Wars again?
Like, the one thing I will say is, like, out of all the boring shit that the kids had to deal with on Tatooine, not having anything to do, Anakin had it fucking right, building droids. Dude, make something useful. He had it right.
Yeah, he was way smarter than the fucking Kister, who was watching build a fucking droid, be like, yeah, let's fucking go.
I love the memes of, like, everyone celebrating around him and Kister's just standing there. It's like when you realize that you aren't free. And it's like...
Oh.
And he's like,
Yeah, it's like when you realize your
Damn,
best
dude.
friend is more important to the universe than you are. Dude, it's just, those memes
Yeah.
are so mean, but they're so
It's
funny.
cold-blooded. It's so cold.
Fucking Kidster. I swear.
all right, guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll out here.
Yep. Well, I'm going to end it. So stick around for
Likewise.
another, like, 2 minutes so we can do our goodbyes after this. But
2
we're
minutes,
gonna,
man.
We're just
Cool,
going to end
cool.
it here. So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you all for subbing, for giving us bits, sticking around for us talking about our fucking dumb Star Wars fandom and our nerdness and being worthless human beings to society because we spent all of our time talking about Star Wars. So, thank you.
That's okay. I can't imagine a better way to spend 4 hours on a Sunday night.
Yeah. Same.
Honestly,
And
me neither.
again, I want to thank Victor for hopping on here, and Jesh, both of you guys.
Thank you.
It's awesome being able to talk about something that we are all clearly very passionate about with like-minded people, you know. And again, we may not agree on everything, and that's cool. We get to hear everybody's side of it, and that was also with people in chat asking really good questions. And sorry if we missed anything. It's tough. We want to pay attention to chat, but when we're also having really, really good conversations here, that's just what has our attention. But everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a good night. I like this. I like doing the Star Wars thing. And as you can tell, we did jump into a few of the other movies and the shows, but it comes with the territory, baby. There's a lot to talk about. But we will be talking about episode 2. That'll be the main focal point next month. We will get you a date on that. Just stay posted. Every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when we try to do these podcasts. I think that's about it, right? We have merch.
We have merch.
That's it.
I'll
go ahead and drop that link one more time, baby.
Boop. Done. I had that shit on copy and paste.
Victor, any closing words? Any comments?
I'm just happy to be on here, and I want to say thank you to Dilf and Ligma to have me on here.
Absolutely.
I'll be happy to come back if you guys want me to on the next few movies.
Yes.
A lot of territory to cover.
Yes.
So
for sure.
But thank you guys. I've had a great time. I'll be on here.
Man.
Yeah, dude. Anytime, man. Even if you want to come on and we're not talking about Star Wars, you just want to come on one of the podcasts, dude. You're more than welcome.
I'd be happy to come on here. And anybody out there, if you think Qui-Gon's not the best character, then you're wrong.
I was gonna say, come. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
But thank you all so much, and have a beautiful rest of your week until next Sunday. Bye-bye.